Hi, everybody. Welcome in. It is The Rant with me, Pugs Moran, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios on the beautiful south side of Chicago from RadioMisfits.com. That's right, our production produced by RadioMisfits.com. That's what I guess we would call it. RadioMisfits.com for all of your podcast needs. They've got a whole bunch of really cool shows there. Let's see here. What do I like? I love the Jackalope Tales. That's a good one. That's a couple of former Toadies. You know the band Toadies. It's Lisa and Charles. They do a show that's fantastic. If you like how the sausage is made of rock and roll mythology, that's your ticket right there. That's Jackalope Tales on Radio Misfits. How about that show hasn't been funny in years? That's right. That's another great podcast listen. If you're looking for truly unique options, entertainment options, I've given you one right there, Jackalope Tales, and now I've given you a second. Nick DiGilio hosts that show hasn't been funny in years. It is a breakdown and a conversation about Saturday Night Live. It's a great show. It's really a good show. What's another one? The Honest Edit. I like that. That's my girl Scarlett and Holly. That's you ladies out there. They're fun. What else do I like? Planted with Sarah. That's right. We got a weed show over there. Oh, look, I can just run down. I don't even have it open. These are just the ones that I listen to. RadioMisfits.com. Very, very cool for independent podcast production. A lot of people there who are really good at what they do. Most of them are all professionals. More professional than I am. All right. Let's say hi to the chat room. Who do we have in the chat room? We've got very, very thin show here to start. At least my numbers are showing that. What is going on? Did we not go out on all channels? I'm looking at the channels. We're here. Doesn't matter. We'll wait for it to build. You people will come. You've come every day since 2021. This show, on Blue Sky and stuff, I'm calling it opposition talk. But what this really is it's normal talk. We do talk every day for normal people. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't even call myself an independent or a libertarian. I don't know what I am. I'm an American who's looking around at the landscape of my country and going, what the hell did we do? So that's what we do here every day. We attack the world and current event stories and hot topics from that perspective. We don't carry water for one side or the other. I'm so tired of people who only see the world through a political lens. You're broken, and we've got to do something to fix these people. This is the kind of show that does it. Although I got to be honest, Trump went full on racist. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about what that means. I've got a theory. I have a theory that, shockingly for a lot of you, you might hear my theory and go, well, Pugs is trying to give an excuse to Trump. It is the only excuse, and it is honestly, I think, the truth. So I will share with you my theory on what that Trump post on Truth Social today, the one that depicted the Obamas as monkeys, it's got everybody fucking freaking out. I'll tell you what the truth is there, at least as far as I see it. And honestly, guys, I'm not lying to you. I think I'm right. And when you hear my theory, you're going to go, yeah, damn it. Pugs is right. That's probably what happened there. That is. Anyway, we'll get into that. Day six now of Mama Guthrie being missing. America's mom. Whole bunch of updates to talk about in the Nancy Guthrie. That's the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. She went missing last Sunday morning, late Saturday night. We've got timelines we'll go through. We've got Ashley Banfield, who I like. I've partied with Ashley. I've seen Ashley drunk. I've been drunk with Ashley. Ashley Banfield, formerly of Fox 4 in Dallas, although her time at Fox 4 in Dallas preceded mine. But Ashley's good friends with Heather Hayes, who's a Fox 4 legend. Seriously, let me just tell you, you older folks there in Dallas, you may remember this. I didn't remember that. I don't remember the days of the mid to late 90s when Fox 4 in Dallas had prime Heather Hayes and prime Ashley Banfield. My God, I mean, straight up masturbation news. Well, you had two smoking hot chicks? What the hell? By the way, we should do that. We should do, I don't think we should do it with modern people, but we should do a legacy sexy Dallas news people. Let's do that. We'll do a sexy Dallas news people draft. Won't be fun for our people in Chicago, but we'll show pictures. Because I'll tell you, there is more sexiness in Dallas-Fort Worth local news than in any other. I've just never seen anything like it. Anyway, I love Heather. Heather Hayes is awesome. She's fun. And Ashley Banfield's in the news. Ashley Banfield is in the news today because she did something, and she's got the sheriffs down there in Pima County, which, by the way, can I just say, yesterday we watched the press conference from Pima County, Arizona, which is where Nancy Guthrie was abducted from. We watched it, and we've been seeing this guy, what's his name? Orso, whoever the sheriff is down there. And he looks, I said yesterday, I go, look at this guy, central casting. This son of a bitch looks like a sheriff with the gray hair. And, he just looks like a sheriff. He looks like the kind of guy, you'd listen to. And then he gets up there and he's not great. He's not great at the whole, I'm in the national spotlight now and I'm just a dude that coaches Little League baseball, right? So he's a bit overwhelmed and he's not doing so great. But I'm looking at this guy over the last 5 days, this county sheriff down there in Pima County, Arizona. I'm looking at him, I'm going, who is this guy? This guy reminds me of somebody. This is Sheriff who? And I came up with it. Jerry Van Dyke. It is Sheriff Jerry Van Dyke. I know it's an old person reference. If you remember Jerry Van Dyke from Coach, or, I don't know, Jerry Van Dyke from being Dick Van Dyke's brother. Jerry Van Dyke is who this sheriff down there is. I swear to God. You won't be able to see anybody but Jerry Van Dyke from now on. Every time a press conference, you're going to be like, okay, this is serious and I should be really sad, but holy shit, Pugs is right. That guy looks like Jerry Van Dyke. Peter says he had no idea that Trump was racist. We'll try and get into that too. Like, Trump isn't racist. He's not racist. I mean, he's everything bad. But it's a different thing than when just regular middle-class people are accused of being racist. My neighbor's a racist. He's angry that black people moved in down the block, right? That's different. That's tangible. Trump's an elitist, which is a whole nother category. Like, I don't think that Trump has a problem living next door to a black billionaire, right? But I do think that Trump understands that he's in control of the monkey crowd, no pun intended. Jesus, that was a bad example. Trump's in control of all the monkeys who are racist, so he's able to sort of, muster those people with some things that he does, like what he did today. Although I don't really want to get into this now because I've got a whole theory and we're going to get into it in a second. We've got a bunch more stuff we got to talk about here today. Spread the word, man. Seriously, go out there right now. Did you share the show? Nobody is sharing the fucking show. I don't want to dedicate 5 minutes a day to saying, please share the show. Please try and get it exposed to other people. Please try and help us build some sort of a base for opposition talk. Because, those of us who have been doing this every day for 5 years, it's time for us to fucking grow. It's time for us to grow. Share the show. Please like the show. Comment on things. All of this helps the algorithm. So I would really appreciate that. All right, so we're going to get into Trump is racist. We're going to talk about Savannah Guthrie. We're also going to do, obviously, we've got, excuse me, hold on a second. Let me do something really quick here. We've got Super Bowl. We've got Olympics. We've got, oh my God, we got to talk about what's going on in the UK. We've got all kinds of Epstein blowback in the UK. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Sorry, I just needed to make a note before I forgot something that I hadn't done yet. There I am. Okay, sorry, I lost my screen. So there's been a lot of talk this week about the alternative. Hiccups are coming. I can feel them. Fuck! I knew it was coming. And they're here. They're here. Hiccups are here. So we're going to go through this again for 5 minutes. There's been a lot of talk about the alternative halftime show, right? The TP, Turning Point, Charlie Kirk, USA. Here we go. And this is a reaction to Bad Bunny, right? So we're going to talk about, God darn it. Sorry, I'm getting the hiccups. Professionalism. So we're going to talk about the thing that blew up online in the last couple of days concerning Kid Rock, who is the sort of headliner for this alternative. What is it? I don't know. They don't like Bad Bunny, but honestly, I don't think it matters who the Super Bowl would have chosen. They would have had a problem and they would have done some kind of alternative thing because it's not necessarily about the actual issue. It's just about having an issue to stir people up with, and that's what they're doing. So there's been a lot of talk this week about Kid Rock, who is now headlining this big alternative family values, Christian, all this good stuff kind of concert that's going to be an option for us if we don't want to watch Bad Bunny and Green Day. I don't know what kind of idiot doesn't want to watch Bad Bunny and Green Day, but would rather watch Kid Rock and a bunch of other people I've never heard of. But okay, whatever. It's there. It's an option. So this week it popped up that, Kid Rock's got some lyrics that are pretty... Well, they're pretty clear, and word for word, we're going to go over some of these Christian, good all-American family values type things that Kid Rock has been doing. We're going to go back. We're going to go back about 30 years, and we're going to look at a song, but we're not just going to look at that song, because fair is fair, and Bruce Springsteen has made himself quite the player in this whole anti-ICE Minnesota thing. And because we exist in a world where whataboutism has to be the first response to any kind of charge, we now have some Bruce lyrics that we have to compare to some Kid Rock lyrics. Bruce is also being accused of having some lyrics that are less than family values or Christian friendly. So we'll do that. We'll compare Bruce Springsteen lyrics, specifically from the song I'm on Fire, with Kid Rock lyrics from some song I've never fucking heard of, but doesn't matter. I'm not a Kid Rock fan. I am a Bruce fan, so we'll do that as well. Plus, we got a bunch of videos we'll watch. You know how we do. We just got a bunch of other things that'll pop in over the course of the show. I do want to say, though, it is Pledge Week, so please help out the show if you can. It has not been a great week for tips. I'll tell you what, though, it's been a great week to be friends with Peter, because Peter is like the only guy that's tipping, with the exception, of course, of Queen April. And today, I hope they don't mind, they are going to share the title. Peter's tipping every day. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. And thank you, April. I don't see April every week anymore. I don't see Bill every week anymore. I don't see the people I used to see every week anymore. So I feel I don't want to lose our connection. So thank you, April. That's incredibly kind of you. Still, month in and month out, supporting this show. So if you want to support this show, you want to help opposition talk, that, I suppose there's other opposition talk out there, but it's all bought and paid for, right? It's all, and by the way, I'm not against being bought and paid for. If the right person wants to pay me, but we don't get the support that MAGA does. MAGA seems to get all kinds of digital and content creation support, whether it's YouTube, and maybe it's our fault. We're not on Rumble. I don't know why we're not on Rumble. Everybody on Rumble. I mean, this seems to be the place, Rumble or Twitch. I mean, we're not on all the platforms we need to be on and stuff like that. And hopefully we can change that. But God damn it, man. I just don't understand why normal talk radio doesn't get the traction that extremist, crazy right-wing radio gets. Or talk, I should say, because right-wing, crazy MAGA talk is all that you get with AM radio. Talk radio in America is two choices: far right-wing MAGA talk on the AM dial in whatever city you live in, and it's all syndicated. It's not even your local voices. Once again, you're being told from outside your community what to think about shit, and that's why everybody knows who Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is, but doesn't know who their own congressperson is. We've been broken by a lack of community discourse. All right. Excuse me. Thank you to Peter and thank you to April. You also can help out the show. Just drop a little something in the Cash App or the Venmo. It would be greatly appreciated, guys. This is we're still playing catch up from the move. This will be the last month of catch up. You see, we're going earlier and earlier in the month, like paying the bills. Like last month, the bills didn't get paid till the 20th. So, we're trying to get caught up. So tip the show now if you can. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, love you guys. Let's go on with the show. Where am I? I've lost my place in the show. A lot of stuff today. By the way, thank you for bearing with me the last few days. I am, for whatever it's worth, feeling great. My energy is back. I'm not taking the cold medicine that caused the first couple of shows of this week to go completely off the rails. Couldn't focus on anything. I was, still battling a cold, still have chest congestion. Not that anybody cares, but I am good to go for a full show. So we're going to have some fun today. All right. Let's say hi to the chat room. Let's say hi to our people who are in here early, just so we can make everybody feel special. Who did I see first today? Let me see. It was a slow start to the chat room. First in today, as far as my screen goes, it says it's Barney. My man Barney's here. And we got Apes here. She's an executive producer. We got Kevin. We got Leslie. We got Peter. Hold on. Let me make the screen bigger. Here we go. We got more people. That's right. Maddie's here. Of course she is. The great Maddie. Executive producer. Somewhat co-host of the show here as we move forward. Chuckles is here. I ain't seen Chuckles in the chat room in a while. Where you been, Chuckles? Chuckles ain't been around in a while. I worry when I don't see people. Look at Seth. Seth, another one. I don't see Seth nearly enough, but it is always nice to see Seth when he jumps in the chat room. So make yourself known, people. I want to see who's here. Give credit, if you will. All right, let's start the show. Begin with my tea. I'm still drinking tea, not coffee, tea. All right, so we all woke up this morning to like one of the craziest fucking things that I think we ever, I'm not going to show the meme. We don't need to, or meme. What? I don't even know how to say that. I still don't know how to say meme correctly, and I don't know how to say gif correctly. I'm not sure. My brain is so scrambled on which way and because my kid makes fun of me every time, I'm not sure which is which. But anyway. So, did this happen like late last night? Like, yeah, it was before midnight, right? So Trump, apparently on his Truth Social, he forwarded another, it was forwarded. It wasn't like Trump went, I'm going to make this. Trump doesn't know how to make shit. Trump don't know how to make, racist memes or whatever. He just sees it and he's like, I approve. So I think Trump was probably having one of his labored bowel movements like he does late at night last night. And he's, playing on the Twitter, or the Truth, I guess, is what he plays with, that big sinking pit of money. He's, by the way, not after MAGA, not Truth Social. I hope you don't have stock in that because that's not going to be a thing. You know that, right? All right. So he forwards something about fixed elections and I think it's like a minute long. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing. I fast forwarded through it to get to the ending. The ending is what everybody is freaking out about. Now, remember, Trump's trying to push out a turd. Middle of the night. He's an old man. He's got these problems. He's raging on Truth Social. He sees something that somebody else created, somebody else in his timeline on Truth Social. He sees it. He watches it. He agrees with it, and he forwards it. Now, here is the problem. At the end of this thing that he forwarded is an image of Michelle and Barack Obama as monkeys. That I'll show you. That we could show you because that's actually, it is so completely out there. You can't say that you're surprised because people have been saying for years and years that Trump is a racist. And you're like, no, he's not a racist. So we can't be surprised by this. Hold on. Let me show you the picture. And yet I'm still shocked by it. Not surprised, but still fucking shocked by it. All right, here it is. All right, I guess this is what this is going to be. All right, so here it is. I'll just show you this. This is all you need to know, and I'm sure you've already seen it. President retweeted this. Again, it's important to say that he retweeted it. He didn't create it on his own because when I offer my explanation of what happened here, There it is. Oh, look at it. Isn't that funny? That's yeah, with the Lion Sleeps Tonight playing. Here you go. President of the United States sent this. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady, they're monkeys because they're black, right? That's the trope. That's everybody knows that, right? Yeah. You know. You got a black friend and they got a cute little kid and he's running around the living room. You better not say, oh, look at that little monkey go, because that means you're a racist. Doesn't just mean that little kids running around. But, you know, that's the trope, right? We know what we're dealing with here. The person who created this knew what they were doing. Once again, Trump didn't create this. Okay, he's trying to fucking push out a turd in the middle of the night. He's scrolling Truth Social. He sees something, a video it's like 2 minutes or something. I don't know, a minute and a half. Well, maybe it's a minute. Doesn't matter. If it's more than 5 seconds, this fucking president is scrolling to the next thing. And this is my explanation for what happened here. Is the president a racist? Yeah, I kind of think he is. I mean, probably, but not a racist the way you and I deal with racists in everyday life. He's an elitist. He's a globalist. He's a 1%er who just thinks he's better than everybody else. But here's what happened with this. Trump didn't see it. Trump didn't watch this whole video. Trump watched like 15 seconds of it, saw that it was about election fixing coming from a site that he trusted in the past because this is one of my people, and he forwarded it. Trump had no fucking idea that Barack and Michelle Obama dressed as monkeys were at the end of it. That's what I believe. He woke up this morning and everybody's freaking out and they're like, why did you send that? And he's probably like, send what? Trump has a very low attention span. Do you honestly think that he sat and absorbed every second of the video? Or do you think he was just shit posting things that he thought supported his point of view? I don't think Trump, when he forwarded this, got to the end of it. I don't think he saw this. I think that's what this is all about. And because this fucking administration can't fucking admit that their leader has the attention span of a retarded 5-year-old, they're just going to deny that it's racist. That's their point of view. It's not racist. That's not racist. You people are overreacting. Oh, please. Please. Is Donald Trump a racist? Not in the traditional way that we think of racists. The racist guy who lives on your block, that's not what Donald Trump is. Trump doesn't like anybody that doesn't have $1 billion. Anybody, there are in Trump's worldview, and this is how these people are raised, and I've been telling you this forever, you think they're just like us. They aren't just like us. They may as well be fucking zombies or space aliens, or vampires for that matter. Maybe that's it. Maybe vampires is the better description or the better comp for what Trump and the 1%ers who you people think are just regular people, that's what they are. They're vampires. So they're not racist in the ways that we're racist, right? Regular working class racists are racists because they have to stand in line behind somebody that's not their color. And the person, has trouble paying. And then all of a sudden, that's how they all are. I'm a racist. Trump doesn't experience that. Trump doesn't experience the everyday things where you mix with people. No, Trump is just better than everybody else. And he understands that his base are those people that I just described. Trump's base. Look, I'm not saying that all of MAGA, this is how you say it. Everyone in MAGA isn't racist. But if you're a racist in America, you are absolutely MAGA. Absolutely. So Trump knows, that racist stuff stirs up his base. But I don't think he did this intentionally because, again, I don't think he got to the end. I think, all of this, I think he woke up this morning. Nobody's ever mad at him, but they were like, oh, Mr. President, that thing you tweeted last night. And I think someone had to explain to him what was at the end of it. He didn't watch it. He doesn't have that kind of an attention span. He doesn't. He's not that smart. Barney knows. Barney's a MAGA guy, but Barney understands what he's supporting. Barney says Trump is a casual racist like every 80-year-old man in the country of any race. Yes, to some degree, but he has an additional level of elitism that makes his racism, in practice, an actual different kind of racism. I mean, he's president of the United States. He's a different level of racist than the guy that lives down the block with the Confederate flag. Kevin has an opinion. Kevin in the chat room says that was racist, but all his trolling and inappropriate posts are beneath the class and decorum of the office. Of course, goes without saying. And we've got examples of that we're going to roll into here. I am just simply trying to break down the nuance of hate in this country and how there are different levels to it. Trump is hateful because Trump isn't hateful of people different from him because he thinks that they're taking from him or that he doesn't have something because they do. That's not where Trump's racism comes from. Trump's racism is genetic. It is biological, and it has nothing to do with color of skin, but more to do with where is your family from, how long have they been in charge of shit, and how much money do you currently have. That is what Trump is about. And we've known this for years. Well, most of us have. Actually, not most of us, because enough of you got hoodwinked into believing that he was the blue-collar billionaire. Like, that's a fucking thing. Oxymoron. like military intelligence, if you will. So, yeah, he's wildly inappropriate. Peter believes that racism is racism. Don't hit the easy button on racism, Peter. Racism exists, and it's a very wide kind of thing, but there are different degrees of it, and you have to be able to point out the irrelevant racist who's the old man on your block with the fucking Confederate flag in his garage. That's the unimportant racist. I am telling you about a different kind of racism that is not born out of what we understand racism to be born out of. The middle class, working class, I hate you, you took jobs or whatever. That racism is a different origin story than the racism that we see at the highest level of government right now. You can dismiss it like Barney by saying he's a casual racist, just like all 80-year-old men. But no, I actually know 80-year-old men who aren't racist at all. So not like all, like some. And Trump has this added thing of the world that he has lived in. He lives in a different world than you, man. Nobody ever tells him, no, he doesn't have any boundaries. He's got zero shame because he's never been shamed because he's always been Fred Trump's boy. The boss's son doesn't get criticized or shamed. You all know this. And this is the guy that you call the blue-collar billionaire. All right. Racism is evil. It sure is. All right, let's see. Anybody else commenting on this? Maddie's in the chat room. Maddie says he gets 0 passes from me based on irresponsible behavior. He should do better and know better. And the fact that he does neither is problematic in and of itself. Yes, he should do better and know better. He knows better. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not a fool. Donald Trump isn't a fool. He behaves foolishly, but he's not a fool. Like, this is all by strategy. This is all planned out. This is all Stephen Miller. All of this distraction. And again, not this. I don't want to cloud what we're talking about here. This, I truly believe that him forwarding this incredibly racist meme was an accident. Not an accident. He intentionally said it. What it is another indication that our president has the attention span of a 10-year-old. He watched the video for like 10 seconds and went, I like this, they like me, forward. And he forwarded it. I don't think he ever got to the ending. None of this is an excuse. I am just explaining the environment that I think led to this. It's not excusing it. You can't excuse the fact that the president of the United States is shit posting literally while he's shitting in the middle of the night. The president of the United States shouldn't shit post. We are so far down the low of things. Well, that's racist. Oh, fuck yeah, it's racist. He shouldn't be posting. The president of the United States shouldn't own his own social network. But, we don't even wince at that anymore. Everything is fucking weird, man. But in this particular case, I watched it and I thought, nah, he didn't get to the end. He didn't watch this whole video. He just forwarded this because he's a lazy old man and he's just trying to stir up the stupids with another forward. And then he woke up this morning and everybody's like, hey, what did you do? And he's like, what? I didn't do. Why is everybody fake news? And then they showed it to him and he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. Also, a couple of things I wanted to talk about since we are kicking the shit out of the orange pumpkin in charge. I did want to play a couple of clips from something that occurred yesterday before the show. I think we played a little bit, but man, oh man, did he have some weird ass fucking things to say, Trump. And that was at the National Prayer Breakfast where something happened. And again, I think this is another indication that Trump is not dialed in. Something happened right in front of Trump's face yesterday at the prayer breakfast. And I don't think he noticed. I don't think he paid attention. I don't think he was paying attention to what the guy was saying. I don't know. You people, man, I'm sorry. What? We need a businessman. The fucking economy is in the shitter, people. This was your businessman. Your businessman is enriching himself. We need someone who's anti-war. This guy's starting a war with fucking NATO and Canada and Greenland, and he's saber-rattling at everybody else. Trump's anti-war. That's why I support him. Good businessman. Economy's in the toilet. He's anti-war. He's threatening everybody. We have no coalitions anymore because of this guy. Trump's going to give us the Epstein files. Meanwhile, he ain't giving us anything, and he's in it like 40,000 times. Trump's not a racist. Yeah, he is a racist. But again, it's a different kind of racist. So anyway, yesterday afternoon, Trump was at the... Oh, no, wait, I don't want to move on yet. That's right. Sorry, I got this here for you. The White House responded to the tweet, retweet. We're just going to call it a retweet. It was on Truth Social, but why give that platform any... Okay, so Carolyn Levitt, who, by the way, I tweeted yesterday about her. She is something else. Carolyn Levitt, what are they just... Is whatever is left of MAGA, are they just going to insulate her for the next 60 years of her life? Because she's 28 years old. She is theoretically going to have a career after this. I mean, I don't think much. But holy shit. She's 28 years old. She's like been married off to her boss's friend. She's pumping out kids. And she's got more influence and power than she ever will. Again, make no mistake, she is 28 years old. She is the spokesperson for the White House. She is never going to have that again. Never. I just bet she's a bitch. Look, if you've ever worked with young women who have been excelled into positions of influence and power while simultaneously these people lack the life experience. And it's not just, look, I'm specifically talking about chicks here that I've worked for. Not dudes are assholes too. But a young woman who's been given power, she takes no shit from anybody. She's tough. I bet she's a bitch, is my point. I bet she's a bitch. I bet there's a White House intern who has fucked up her latte order, and he has been fucking dressed down by Carolyn Levitt in a way that would, make Andrew Dice Clay shriek. So here's what she said about the internet meme. She says, this is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle, and Democrats are characters from The Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public, like the Epstein files. Can we ask about that again? Because you told us we couldn't ask about Epstein. Do you know how much better it would have been if we just had a regular shitposting president whose communications arm of his administration could come out, address the people, and say, yeah, well, you know, President Trump, he likes to stir it up. Quite frankly, he didn't watch that whole video. That real offensive stuff happens in the last 2 seconds. And, well, you know, the president just scrolled to the next thing. That's what they should have said. That's what I think happened. And that would be believable. People would be like, well, he's still an asshole, but he didn't do it intentionally. Right now, you just by doubling down and by defending and by saying that people who are offended by that are wrong to be offended by that, you are just being even more absurd than normal. You can handle this. There is a way to handle this. It's a mea culpa, and you move on. Why? Because people forget. This is a 24-hour story. If you handle it the way I said, you move on to the next thing. Yeah, he didn't know it. But this fucking administration can't admit any mistakes. They wait till there's 2 dead people in Minnesota before they draw down the forces there. They don't admit mistakes. They double down. God damn, man. I mean, unchecked power. He's doing whatever he wants. I think we should all move on from the Epstein files. And then he browbeats Caitlin Collins it's just absurd. And now we've got 28-year-old queen bitch Carolyn Levitt telling us that it's fake to be outraged by this and that we should all be talking about things that are more important. Well, we want to talk about the Epstein files, but you won't let us do that either. Good Lord, these people are the absolute fucking worst. Oh, we got this too. Yeah, we got more here. Check this out. This is a... man, I don't know who these people are. Quite frankly, I think that these people are mentally ill, but whatever. They've been around now for like 40 years. The call-in shows to C-SPAN, you know, those. I will tell you, back in like the mid-90s, I used to sit in a room and try to get on the air at C-SPAN. This is when I was producing for Kevin Matthews. And we had this bit that we wanted to do and it never worked. I never got on the air. It's harder than you think. But C-SPAN, the network that nobody watches, and they do a live call-in show, and they have people call in. And as I said, these people have always struck me as the most mentally ill in America. I mean, these are serious political wonks that are watching C-SPAN and then calling into the talk show. But all right, let's give this a listen. Here you go. This is from this morning. This is C-SPAN. This reaction from C-SPAN to Trump's Obama monkey meme.
Oh, my word. I am a registered Republican. My dad was the president of American Pipeliners Association, so I came by it rather naturally. Voted for the president, supported him, but I really want to apologize. I mean, I'm looking at this awful picture of the Obamas. What an embarrassment to our country. All this man does is tell lies. He is not worthy of the presidency. He takes bribes blatantly, and now he's being a racist blatantly. They were supposed to deport the dangerous criminals. They were not supposed to go after small children, storm schools, bring terror upon, the little kids and the women and children, not just the immigrants in the school. All the children are scared. This is not a decent man. This is not an honest man. He openly takes bribes. He's pathetic as a president, and I just want to apologize to everybody in the country for supporting this rotten man.
John, did you vote for him in all 3 elections?
I did. I was sucked into the stupidity of creating jobs.
It's okay, all right. He did.
There are no more
he
jobs
voted
in New
for him.
Mexico. Things are worse than
15 times or 3 times, whatever. Okay, so that's a guy from C-SPAN. We talk a lot about providing the off-ramp, so that dude calls in and he wants to apologize. Okay, I don't know what level of influence I have here, but I accept that random caller from New Mexico's apology. 3 times! 3 times! This guy, 1, 2, 3 times this guy voted for Trump. But now he's like, hey, wait a second, I might have. Okay, I know we can't do this. We can't humiliate people. The off-ramp has to be clear and they have to be allowed. So whatever. Barney, about the video. Let's dig into this, Barney. Barney's like, isn't that video like 8 years old? Question. Now, I don't know how you're asking that question, but if you're asking it in a way to sort of marginalize the importance, I think you're being a bit disingenuous. Isn't that video like 8 years old? Seems like this has been a story before. I don't know. Yeah. Calling the Obamas monkeys has absolutely been a story before, Barney, but that's not the story. The story is that the president of the United States forwarded that last night. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the meme is old. Doesn't matter if you've seen it before. The meme is not the story. The story is that the president of the United States saw the meme and then endorsed the meme. That's the story. But I do appreciate that. It probably is old. I don't know what that means. I do know what this means because we all feel this way. So tired, Peter. So tired. Now they are saying a staffer posted it. That's an easy one, but we know that's not true. We know that Trump posts his own shit like that. We know that at that time of the night, we know that Trump was up taking a shit. That's because he posts middle of the night all the time. He's a night bird. He doesn't sleep much. Or maybe he does. I don't know. What times does he wake up? Most presidents wake up at like 6 a.m. Trump probably sleeps till like, 11? Has the nice brunch brought to him in the... What is the president's bedroom? That's not the Lincoln bedroom, right? The Lincoln bedroom is where guests stay. That's why we always hear about the Lincoln bedroom. I don't know what the president's bedroom is called. All right, let me see here. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's move on. All right, so there you have it. That's the White House's response. We did that. We did the C-SPAN caller. How about Tim Scott? This is an interesting one. We should all be interested in what Tim Scott has to say, as he's referred to widely on the web. Uncle Tim Scott, who is the lone black Republican, big MAGA guy. Oh, yeah, Uncle Tim Scott loves Trump. He's been, carrying Trump water since 2016, Tim Scott. Tim Scott's their only black friend, really. I mean, at least their only black friend who isn't a billionaire. So Tim Scott, senator from, where is he? South Carolina? Where is it? North Carolina? Where's Tim Scott senator from? I don't know. One of them Carolina places. Tim Scott, for the first time ever, seems to be breaking with President Trump. That's right. The lone black guy in the Republican Senate had this to say about President Trump and his racist retweet. Tim Scott here said, wait, is this better? Is that bigger? I don't know if that'll that'll work. Okay. Tim Scott, Mr. Uncle Tim Scott, if you will, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. Oh, that's fuck you. Oh, fuck off, Tim Scott. Please. That's how hard you come? My God. Nothing. I just hope it's fake. I'm just gonna, because I've known this guy and he's just not racist at all. I mean, he always talks to me. He lets me carry his bags on the golf course. He has me. He likes me to get his drinks because I know exactly how Mr. Trump likes his drinks. I don't understand this racist stuff. Oh, fuck you, Tim Scott. Stop it. this is the most racist thing I've seen come out of the White House. I haven't seen any other Republicans. I don't know. Is anybody else up in arms? I know the Democrats are. Of course they are. Oh, my God. I don't know about other Republicans, though. But I do want to get into the other thing that I was talking about, which is the prayer breakfast from yesterday. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that Trump said at the prayer breakfast. But first, let's start out with how he was just fucking bodied on stage by the reverend who was hired, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's an honor. Details. But this reverend gets up, right? He's going to bless the prayer breakfast. And first of all, they made a mistake. It's a black reverend. You know, shouldn't this be like Paula White's job? Shouldn't she be the one? Well, they got a little sloppy, and they went out and they got a black reverend to come up and bless the prayer breakfast. Why? Because they're not racist. So the black reverend gets up, and this is what he says. And by the way, Trump is standing right behind him. Let's listen to this. This is a bodying, and I honestly don't think the president of the United States is paying attention. It looks like he's starting to sleep. He doesn't pay attention to what anybody else says, ever, right? That's why you always see him like... So let's listen to what is being said about the president as the president stands right behind this guy, doesn't seem to be paying attention at all. This is pretty tremendous. Here you go. Let's watch.
Without you, none of us can adjudicate the overwhelming details of leadership and life. Today we pray for America and we pray for all parliamentarians around the world.
All right, so we pray for him, very generic stuff. We pray for America. We pray for everybody who's governing around the world. Okay, so far so good. Trump is fucking totally checked out, sound asleep, not paying any attention. He is the Christian boy king god.
The book of Timothy teaches us that you've been entrusted with leadership. Today,
all right, so now he's talking directly to Trump. He's telling him the book of Timothy, whatever, I don't know. I'm not a Bible dude.
Today we pray for the future of this nation and that you would lead this president into greater levels of compassion for your name's sake.
Okay. All right, there's the first one. He didn't even wince. This guy
we pray that you would protect him.
This guy is praying to God that the president is better. We pray to you, Lord, that you make this fucking guy better. Listen to it again. This is a direct shot at this president. I don't think he's paying attention. And it ain't the last time.
We pray for the future of this nation and that you would lead this president into greater levels of compassion.
God, please. This guy's a fucking monster. Will you please just make him nicer?
For your name's nation, and that you would lead this president into greater levels of compassion for your name's sake. We pray that you would protect him from the iniquities of evil, and that you would give him greater clarity, greater courage, and greater capacity to do what is right.
God, please make him smarter. Please give him greater. The important thing is greater. The implication being that he doesn't have any of this right now. And God, please, we're praying, make this guy fucking better. This is all being said right in front of him. Now, look at him. Now he's starting to put it together. He's like, wait a second. Is this guy saying that God needs to intervene and make me a better president? Because I think I'm a pretty good president. Yeah, he's starting to realize now. But he still doesn't react because I think he goes right back to sleep.
Greater clarity, greater courage, and greater capacity to do what is right in forever challenges. Today we remind him that the lives of millions of people are in his hands.
We're reminding you, Mr. President, that the lives of millions of people are in your hands.
And that he has the power to turn mourning into dancing, or to reduce the country into a cosmic elegy of chaos and suffering.
Okay. Look, dude, here are your choices. You can either be cool or you can burn this whole motherfucking country down. And we pray that you make the right choice. This guy is doing this in front of the president. This is highly insulting and wildly humiliating, and I am here for it.
And it is because of this that we pray that the best of this president would rise among us.
The best of this president, not what we've got so far, but we are praying to you, God, make this guy better than he is.
For the sake of this nation, for the sake of this world, we pray that goodness and mercy would announce themselves in his life in new and powerful ways.
New and powerful ways, because whatever ways that mercy and compassion have been presenting themselves in his life fucking suck. God, please give him new levels of compassion and mercy. This guy is fucking bodying him, and I don't think he's paying attention.
Goodness and mercy would, for the sake of this nation, that we pray that the best of this president would rise among us. For the sake of this nation, for the sake of this world, we pray that goodness and mercy would announce themselves in his life in new and powerful ways. We pray that he would be mindful of the poor, and that he would be invested in the elevation, the alleviation of suffering happening on farms in the Midwest, in the families preparing to bury their loved ones in Minneapolis. Remind him that we are all Americans, all made in the image of God, and that none of us are free unless all.
Remember, he's asking God, he's praying to God to please step in here, dude. Remind this guy. Why does he need to be reminded? Because this guy is out here basically saying, you have shit the bed, Mr. President, and I'm out here praying to God that he steps into your life, because he ain't there, dude.
All of us have our freedoms protected. Many people are not lazy. Many people are simply tired. Many people simply are not okay. Matthew 25 teaches us that faith, that our gifts are given from God and that we should show them with compassion towards others. But most of all, we pray that you would work out your will in his life. May we all do more for the greater glory of God, because when it's all said and done,
we pray that you would. He's praying that Donald Trump become more of a Christian, to look at the world and to be the president in a Christian way. That is exactly what he is asking him right here.
For you would work out your will in his life.
Please, God, work out your will in his life, because it ain't fucking working so far. Please, God, show a presence in this man's life. That is what this guy is saying. And I don't think this motherfucker is even paying attention to it. This guy has no idea. He's lost. He has no attention span. He's looking around the room, trying to see which MAGA bimbos are wearing the most low-cut dresses at this prayer breakfast.
May we all do more for the greater glory of God, because when it's all said and done, we pray as Jesus taught us to pray. We ask that we surrender our all to Jesus. To all hope I give him freely. I will ever love and trust him, and in his life and presence live daily. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Amen.
Now, Trump wasn't listening, so he doesn't know how to respond. That was good. That was moving. All right, there you go. I thought that was pretty great. He wasn't paying attention. Trump was not paying attention to the words that guy was saying. Why? Because Trump doesn't do church. Trump doesn't do God. Trump doesn't do Jesus. He holds the Bible upside down. He doesn't go to church, ever. Fucking Joe Biden went to church religiously every Sunday. Trump never goes to church. Never, unless it's for like some kind of a campaign event. But, here he is at the prayer breakfast, and, don't tell me that Christians are fucking dupable. They've been supporting this guy for 10 years, and he thinks they're all fools. Here's a little something for our Dallas friends. Check this out. Just for those of us in Texas, we know who this guy is, and I guess he's got a bit of a national profile at this point. But Trump last night or yesterday during the day at the prayer breakfast threw a little shout out to Robert Jeffress. That's right, Mr. Dallas Jesus, the Christ of the Metroplex. Robert Jeffress, one of the most corrupt and shady fucking preachers that the world has ever known. But, he's built this monstrosity of a money machine there in Dallas. And so, he's got the ear of the president. Let's listen to what the president has to say about the highly questionable. That's what I'll say. I don't want to say anything because he sues. He sues, and I've had problems with Robert Jeffress before back in the old Live 105.3 days. Anyway, let's just listen to President Trump talking about one of our least favorite people in the Metroplex. Here you go. Trump talking about his good buddy, Robert Jeffress of First Baptist, right? Isn't that First Baptist there in downtown?
You have a Robert Jeffers. I don't know if he's here. Is he here, Robert? Is he here? Robert Jeffers was on television in 2016 when I just sort of announced I was running. And he said, I know every candidate very well. There were 18 candidates, me and 17 others. He said, I know every candidate very well. And I know Trump a little bit, but he may not be as good with the Bible as some of them. He may not have read the Bible as much as some of them. In fact, he may not have ever read the Bible.
Trump knows how far he can push the idiot Christians, the evangelicals, who will carry his water for no reason and walk around pretending like he's one of them. I maybe even never read the Bible. He is not Christian at all. He thinks you're fools. Christianity isn't good enough for him. It's a stupid person thing. And yet you people, well, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. I know a lot of good Christians who don't like Trump. There is true Christianity still in this country. It just ain't happening at the fucking mega churches.
But he will be a much stronger messenger for us. And he will get things done that no other man has the ability to get done.
No other man.
And I endorse him fully. And I said, that guy, I didn't want to admit anything, but that was very interesting. And I think we've gotten more done, Paula, than anybody could have ever gotten done. What we've done, nobody else would have been able to do.
We got the so low energy. So low energy. What we've done. Anyway, there you have big day for Trumpo. He's all over the news. Let's get into some Savannah Guthrie stuff. Day 6 now of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie, missing. We now know way more than we knew earlier in the week. Boy, oh boy, the details, they just keep coming. We know that she was taken against her will. We know that this occurred Saturday. Well, we've got a full timeline and stuff here. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Give you all the latest details. Excuse me. Hold on. Sorry. Just gotta do something here first. See if we had a little backing, if we took some special interest money.
Especially when they've been using toilet paper that doesn't hold up.
We'd have a producer.
Charmin Ultra Strong has a diamond weave texture that's more durable and it cleans better, so you can use.
Can you guys hear the commercial that's playing right now?
Charmin.
In the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're reading.
All right, hold on. Let me play this for you. So, what did I want to share here? Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's watch this. This is an update. This is Harvey Levin. Harvey Levin of TMZ seems to be at the forefront of the Savannah Guthrie situation. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I got to get rid of this. Boop. Sorry. TMZ received one of the 2 notes, ransom demands. So they kind of broke that. The other media outlet that received the ransom demand was a local television station there in Phoenix. Harvey Levin, the demand that Harvey Levin received is being treated by the FBI, authorities in general, as being legitimate. So Harvey Levin has sort of become this sort of spokesperson for this story. He was on, I don't know what show this was. I think it was Fox News, Hannity. I think it was Hannity last night. He had a little something to say. So let's let Harvey Levin get us caught up, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that he didn't mention. New details surrounding the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Again, this is from Fox News last night. Harvey Levin of TMZ on with Sean Hannity.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're reading it right. I will say the letter begins, and again, we're not sure that this is really written by the person who has Nancy. But I will say the letter begins by saying she is safe but scared. And they go on to say,
all right, so here, I wanted to freeze this here because this is interesting. This is what I wanted to go through. We'll listen to Harvey. We'll finish what he's saying. But here is the timeline of events. So last Saturday at 5:30, Nancy, Savannah Guthrie's mom, went to her daughter's house, who lives in the area, Savannah Guthrie's sister. She went to her daughter's house, had dinner, hung out with the grandkids or whatever. And then at 9:48 last Saturday night, she was dropped back off at her home. We know that at 9:48, the garage door opens, and that at 9:50, the garage door closes. Okay, so that's what we have from Saturday. She went to her family's house. They dropped her off back at home, and the garage door was opened and closed between 9:48 and 9:50. That's the time that she was dropped off. Let's fast forward a few hours later, 1:47 a.m. So now it's early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, 1:47 a.m. The doorbell camera at Nancy Guthrie's house has been disconnected. Somebody came in and disconnected the doorbell. That's a clue. Obviously, we know that she didn't wander off. Somebody did this intentionally. At 2:12, software detects a person on camera. So look at this. This is it just irritates me. I don't even know if I'm right about this, but it says at 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on camera, all right, at Nancy Guthrie's house. But there's no video available for that because apparently she didn't pay the subscription. She didn't pay the upcharge. What? Fucking capitalism. Really? What? We don't, because she didn't pay the additional $11 a month for the bullshit upcharge that probably should be included if you're truly selling a full-on security system. But whatever. There's no video. No subscription. I mean, I don't know what that means. It says here that the doorbell was disconnected at 1:47, and then at 2:12, this software was still operational to the point where it could detect somebody. But because she doesn't pay the upcharge, she was abducted in the middle of the night. They ought to use that in their commercials. They still do those commercials. Is it Ving Rhames? Or is that at Ving Rhames? Hey, I'm protecting your house. Isn't that the guy? He should mention this. You won't get abducted if you pay the upcharge. It's a good selling point. 2:28 a.m. Sunday morning, late Saturday night, a pacemaker app shows that it's been disconnected from the phone. So she had a pacemaker. It was attached to her phone. I don't know how that works. Maybe someday soon, but I don't know how that works at the moment. So, all right. So the pacemaker app shows that it's disconnected from the phone at 2:28. And that's it. The next morning at 11:56 a.m., the family checks in on Nancy, which that is, wow. I wonder what that was about. They just had dinner with her like 12 hours, and then they're calling. They must be close because, quite frankly, I love my mom and I love my family. But if I had dinner with them the night before, I'm probably not calling them 12 hours later to check in. But they did. So that's how we found out about this. All right. So 11:56 in the morning, Sunday morning, brunch time on a Sunday, if you will. They realized that they can't find Nancy. By 12:03, they call 911, which is interesting because it's only 7 minutes. So they call their mom at 11:56. She doesn't answer, obviously. So that call goes, and it's a call. And just 7 minutes later, they're calling 911. I mean, they did the right thing, obviously, because we know that she was abducted. But would you 7 minutes later call 911 after you can't get a hold of your mom? I'd wait a while. I think maybe she's in the shower or maybe she's pooping or something. You know what I mean? You don't know what your mom's doing. But 7 minutes later. So that's interesting that they something was up. I'd like to know why that, because that just seems not odd. I'm not casting aspersions. These people are going through something. I'm just looking at this and trying to figure out how would I react. That seems a little soon. All right. So at 11:56 a.m., the family checks in on Nancy. They can't find her. So at 12:03, they call 911. At 12:15, police arrive. And that's where we are. All right. So that's the timeline. So now let's go back to Harvey Levin on Hannity last night, talking about what he knows concerning the ransom note.
She knows exactly what the demand is. And so they are, through us telling the family, and obviously the sheriff's department gave the family the letter we received.
So, by the way, that is interesting. What Harvey Levin just revealed there is that through the ransom note that he received, it was made clear that Nancy, the mother, is fully aware of what the ransom demand is. We still haven't heard the ransom demand. At least I haven't before we signed on today. So I don't know what it is. Is it $1 million? Like, what is it? I don't know. Oops, sorry.
Exactly what they're demanding, and they're saying that Nancy is aware of it. They are also saying, Sean, and I find this pretty interesting when you look at what happened today. They're saying that this will be their only communication. And they are done communicating, negotiating. Here's the deal.
Okay, so that's interesting too, right? So we got the ransom demand. It was sent to TMZ and it was sent to the CBS affiliate there in Phoenix. In this ransom demand, again, Harvey spilling the beans here, they make it known that this is the only time we're going to communicate with you. This is interesting because yesterday a guy in Los Angeles was arrested for a fake ransom demand. The guy in Los Angeles sent a text to the brother-in-law of Savannah Guthrie saying that he had her and that he wanted money. I mean, how stupid is that, right? How that's weird. Just some guy that has Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law's phone number by chance. He just sends a text thinking that he's going to, I don't know. Well, mental illness, we talk all the time. We people do things in our society every day and we go, what the fuck were they thinking? And I'm done worried about what they were thinking, and I'm just accepting the fact that we are just rampant with mental illness in this country. Somebody thought that they could send a text to Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law, even though this is on every news channel, helicopters in the air, the whole country is talking about this distraction story, and that's what it is. It's not to say that it's not an important story, but this is a distraction story. This story doesn't affect us, okay? This story does one thing, scares us. And that's what they want. They know that if we're scared, we're going to pay attention. If we're going to pay attention, we're going to sit through commercials. And if we sit through commercials, then they can charge for our attention. This is not a news story. What's happening in Iran is a news story. What's happening on the streets of Minneapolis is a news story. The involvement of the United States and world governments at the highest level with the Epstein situation is a news story. This is something designed. This is the kind of story that we're just simply supposed to go, oh, we know Savannah Guthrie. I mean, just think of it from that point. There are other missing people. There are other missing people in this country. There are other people who have been kidnapped since Nancy Guthrie. We don't hear anything about that. We don't. Why? Because they're not the mother of somebody on the Today Show. So there's an entertainment, there's a Q rating thing, there's a mass interest because we all have a common connection to who Savannah is, and we all have mothers. That's why this story is big. But it's not news. This is a one-off. This is a shocking distraction story. Doesn't mean it's not important to the people in that community or the people that love Nancy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're a dude who works on a fucking cattle ranch in Utah, this story is not big to you. This story does not affect you in your everyday life. However, us invading Iran might. Journalism 101. All right. What is a story? What isn't a story? This isn't a story. This is a curiosity. And this is a ratings winner, but it's not a news story. Something terrible that is happening to somebody. Terrible things happen to people all over this country. This was made and elevated into something that has our attention simply because it is the mother of a celebrity. That's it. Okay. Let's go back to him.
And that's it. And,
hey.
As the clock ticks, I think that's one of the reasons the FBI and other authorities have, gotten desperate here, because as far as we can tell, it's impossible to trace the origin of this email. And
how is that? How is that? Like this is reality versus what we assume reality is. Harvey Levin is saying it is virtually impossible to trace this email. I watched CSI. What do you mean it's impossible? See what I mean? We think like, oh no, man, it's satellites in the cloud. And they got eggs. We can't do half the shit we think we can do. Another example is the Artemis, the big giant rocket that's going to be the most world-changing rocket that we've ever created. We can't get fucking Artemis off the pad in a practice firing. Anyway, don't get me started on that. We haven't been talking about the Artemis mission, and I was all excited the other day. I was going to watch a test firing of the engines of Artemis. And then they're like, nope, no, we can't even test fire them because we don't know what we're doing with space. We don't know what we're doing with a whole lot of shit. Harvey Levin says we can't track the email. Really? I assume that would be.
I will say that there are real reasons based on what's written there that I believe that this person is in the radius of the Tucson area.
Now, this is interesting. Because they believe that it's a local. They believe that it is somebody. Now, we've heard I said on day one, I said, my God, in her little community, in her little personal universe, with the women that she power walks with, or, the little bingo club that she belongs to. Nancy Guthrie is a thing. Her daughter is on the Today Show. That's a big thing. Everybody knows. You meet Nancy Guthrie. Nancy, this is my friend Jerry. Jerry, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Nice to meet you. Nancy walks away, and the friend goes, that's Savannah Guthrie's mother. That is the universe that she lives in. So, to now hear that they think that it's local, and we now know that it is targeted, not random, that's interesting. Let's continue.
And there's something very specific in there, and I'm sure the FBI keyed in on this a while ago. And it makes me think that whoever did this, if whoever wrote this letter is in that Tucson area. And I think it's one of the reasons, too, that they sent the same email to one of the local stations in Tucson. This person is familiar with the Tucson television market. And based on the way it's written, I believe that this is somebody in that wide Tucson area.
Okay, that's fine. Harvey's obviously deeper into this than I am. But I did have an issue with they sent it to the CBS affiliate in Tucson. Why wouldn't they send it to the NBC affiliate? And NBC is who employs Savannah Guthrie, you would think.
In Tucson, could be in New Mexico. They could be in New Mexico now, but they are definitely familiar with Tucson.
All right, Harvey Levin last night there on Hannity, telling what he knows. He is one of the guys that received the ransom note. He and the local CBS affiliate there in Phoenix. Ashley Banfield. I told you about her at the beginning of the show. Former Fox 4 there in Dallas. I partied with her. I got drunk with Ashley Banfield. She's fun. She's cool. Ashley Banfield is now on what? News Nation? I don't know where she is. She in News Nation or something. She got herself in a little bit of trouble because she's out there. She's covering this story. Ashley Banfield, I'll tell you, I'm playing dumb, but I actually do watch her on News Nation. She's doing a kind of news that I think is needed. And what I mean by that is the bulk of the stories that she really digs into on her show are these kinds of news stories. They're not political. Like, she's not out there talking to some senator about something that the president tweeted. She does crime stories. She does real stories. At least that's what it seems like from the little that I've seen of her News Nation show. Sheriff in Nancy Guthrie case rips Ashley Banfield's reckless reporting. Now, what did Ashley say on her show? The sheriff is mad because Ashley said something on her show that the sheriff is calling reckless. He's not calling it incorrect. Make a note of that. He's saying that her reporting is reckless. Okay? Banfield said on Tuesday that the son-in-law of Savannah Guthrie's mom may be the prime suspect in this case. She says that she was citing a law enforcement source. All right, let's get into this. Let's see how this played out. On Tuesday, Ashley Banfield reported on her podcast that Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, may be the prime suspect in the alleged kidnapping of Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, citing a law enforcement source. Sheriff in Pima County, Chris Nanos, that's his name, Nanos, Chief Sheriff? I guess he's a sheriff. Is there a difference between a sheriff and a chief? I don't know. Anyway, Sheriff Jerry Van Dyke called the reports reckless. He went on to say that we do not have anybody here publicly listed as a suspect, Nano said at a Thursday press conference. He did acknowledge, however, that nobody has been eliminated. Nano specified that they do not have a person of interest identified either. Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say at the moment. We can't say this is our suspect, this is our guy, we know, or this is our gal, Sheriff Nano said. We don't know that. And it really kind of is reckless to report that someone is a suspect when they could very well be a victim. All right, so that's what he said after Ashley Banfield reported information that she had come across through a law enforcement source there on the scene. The sheriff did not deny the report. He called the report reckless, and that's very interesting to me. Reckless is not inaccurate. Reckless is not the same thing as her inaccurately reporting. Reckless could mean we don't want him to know that he's a fucking suspect. That could be reckless. And that's maybe what's going on here. I don't know, but isn't that interesting? Holy cow, this story is going to take a whole nother level of... If this turns out to be somebody in Savannah Guthrie's family that orchestrated this, like a brother-in-law, holy cow. Holy cow. Anyway. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? That's the Savannah Guthrie update. How about this? All right, let's go across the pond. We told you yesterday about how the big fear that the Trump administration truly has regarding the Epstein situation is that they could end up being the people that aren't in control of it. As long as this was an American case in the American courts and all that kind of stuff, as long as that was happening, President Trump knew that as long as he was at the very tip of the spear here, he could control this. But guess what? It's gotten out. Now other countries are getting involved. Other countries, especially the ones that are pissed at us right now, like all of the reasonable, formerly friendly European countries. Most notably, I told you about France, I told you about Italy, and I told you about Germany, all independently opening up at the governmental level investigations into the Epstein situation. This freaks the fuck out of all of the evil people here in America who are trying to keep us in the dark about who is actually named, because these people over there in Europe, they don't give a fuck. They seem to be turning on all of their people. Let's focus right here on our good friends in the UK. Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer was the prime minister. Did you know that? Did you know Keir Starmer was the prime minister in London? Seems to me that over the last 10 years, they've had like 12 prime ministers, right? There was like a dude who stepped down, and then there was a chick, and then there was that chick, she was gone, and then some other dude was there, and then Boris Johnson, right? Wasn't he there for a while? And now we got this Keir Starmer guy. Well, I don't know anything about him. That's not true. I'm playing dumb. I watch a lot of Sky News. I do have a little bit of familiarity with Keir Starmer. So here's what I'm going to tell you about him. He seems to be a politician. He seems to be a classic sort of politician who knows not to say the awful thing and doesn't really ever give you any. He seems very buttoned up. He seems very proper. He seems very much what is expected of a statesman. He's not ours. He's over there in the UK. I don't know what his politics are. I don't know what his background is. I just know that when I see Keir Starmer, I'm like, okay, that guy seems legit. He's unlike ours. Our guy does not seem legit. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that Keir Starmer seems to be like a classic bullshit politician, okay? As opposed to what we have now in Trump, which is a monster who's going to destroy our country. All right, so Keir Starmer, he's in hot water, the prime minister over there. Do you know why he's in trouble? This is how serious they're taking it over there. Keir Starmer is in trouble. He's the leader of their parliament. He's like their president. He's the prime minister of England. The only person bigger than him is the king, right? And that's nonsense and made up. So he's the guy that's like really in charge. They're going to kick him out. Why? Not because he's associated with Epstein in any way, shape, or form, but because he gave a job to somebody who is. That's how serious They're taking this shit in the UK. Maddie talked about it yesterday. Lord Mendelsohn. Lord Mendelsohn is he's a very important guy over there in England in the House of Lords, and Keir Starmer appointed him to be ambassador to the United States. Lord Mendelsohn. Well, it turns out Lord Mendelsohn is all over the fucking Epstein files and was good friends with Epstein. And because Keir Starmer, the prime minister, didn't know this or just gave him a job, they want Keir Starmer's head now. They're taking this way more serious over there than we are here, and we ought to take notes. So far, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer hasn't been linked directly to any suggested wrongdoing revealed in the Epstein files, but his decision to give another politician whose ties to Jeffrey Epstein have been laid bare by the documents, the vital job of ambassador to Washington, D.C. This has drawn a ferocious backlash for Starmer. As the most tumultuous week in his premiership ends, Keir Starmer is facing calls from his political opponents and some party allies to step down from Britain's top job. What did he know, and when did he know it? Those are the big questions facing Starmer amid outrage over his decision last year to appoint Peter Mandelson as Britain's top diplomat in the United States, despite Mandelson's known ties to Epstein. That's a country who is handling the pedophilia problem directly. They aren't obfuscating everything. They're not making excuses. They're not denying that they had any ties to him, and then they turn up 50,000 times in the fucking files. No. And this ought to scare the shit out of the people in this country who are doing whatever they can to cover it up. This is the kind of shit that wars get started over. I'm not kidding. They'll trump up, no pun intended. They'll trump up some situation, and before we know it, before England is able to put all the names out there, we'll have nuked London. That's where we're heading. That's how insane this world under Donald Trump has become. All right, there you have it. They're taking it serious over there. We're not taking it serious over here. No, we're not. All right, I got to take a quick break here. I've been on the air now for an hour and a half. I think we've gone a good long time. Here's what we're going to do on the back end. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to get a fresh cup of tea. On the back end, we're going to talk Olympics. I guess we got opening ceremonies tonight. We're going to talk, who are we supposed to be paying attention to? Lindsey Vonn? It's like a 60-year-old downhill skier. Anyway. She blew out her knee like a week ago, and then she's back. How hard can skiing be if you blow out your knee last week and you're still going to be in the Olympics? I don't know. We'll talk about that. Tonight, we're going to have the Parade of Nations. There was a part of me that actually wanted to do a live stream for the Parade of Nations because, if you were sitting with me while I'm watching the Parade of Nations, we could have fun because I got hot takes on all the countries. And I also enjoy when new countries pop up. The Parade of Nations is how each Olympics opens, where everybody's like, no, and it's alphabetical. So we always got to wait forever for the United States team. Can't we just be America? Can't we be like America and go like after Albania? But no, we got to watch the full 3-hour thing because, the United States comes at the end. It's the United States and then Uzbekistan. But there's always countries that pop up where I'm like, I've never heard of that country in my life. Holy shit, they've got a bobsled team. Wow. Anyway, that's tonight. I was thinking about doing a live stream, but it's Friday, and I don't really want to be here until 11 o'clock. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Olympics and how that's going to kick off this weekend. We've got a Super Bowl we got to talk about and all the crazy stuff going on there. We're going to talk about the NFL honors. NFL honors was last night. A whole bunch of people got awards. It's like the Oscars of the NFL. Also, stupid stuff. Got a whole bunch of stupid stuff. We're going to talk about babies in space. Yeah, science has weighed in. We've got some bad news for those of you who want to start your family in space. Although good news for those of you who just want to fuck in space, because apparently you can do that. It's just, the baby ain't going to take. We'll talk about that. And we're gonna do here in the second half. We're gonna do a comparison. We're gonna talk about the situation brewing between Kid Rock and Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, they're being Bruce is obviously on one side of the MAGA thing, and Kid Rock is obviously on the other side of the MAGA thing. And Kid Rock is doing the family-friendly TPUSA alternative Super Bowl halftime event. And so a lot of people this week have been like, wait a second, Kid Rock's not Christian or family-friendly. Look at these lyrics. And there's some pretty spooky lyrics from Kid Rock's past. So to counter that, people started going, well, what about Bruce Springsteen? So we're going to play, well, we won't play the songs, but we're going to go through the lyrics of both songs, and we're going to try and figure out what's going on here. Kid Rock, pedophile lyrics versus Bruce Springsteen, pedophile lyrics. Yeah. I think lyrics, now we got a problem with lyrics. Have you guys ever heard the Beatles song Run for Your Life? It's one of the great Beatles early bangers of all time. Actually, it's like a mid Beatles banger. I think Run for Your Life might be off. No, is Run for Your Life, is that on Help? Maybe it might be Help. Help is where they started to like get into cool stuff, and then that led to Revolver and Rubber Soul, and then that led to Sgt. Pepper and all that. But anyway, the Beatles song Run for Your Life, it's literally, you read this song and you're like, oh, so this song is about a guy who beats up his girlfriend and he threatens her that if she cheats on him, he's going to murder her. Oh, cool song. Cool song, John Lennon. You better run for your life if you can, little girl. Hide your head in the sand, little girl. If I catch you with another man, little girl, that's the end, little girl. Run for your life. All right. So lyrics have always been problematic in pop songs, but we're going to do a little comparison between Kid Rock and Bruce Springsteen. We got all of that and more. I'm going to take a quick break. Let me go to the bathroom. Let me get a fresh cup of hot tea, and then we'll come back and we'll finish this Friday show. It's the, well, what is it? It's the Rant. It's the Rant with me, Pugs, back after this. Oh, by the way, one more time, I want to thank Peter and April. Peter and April are our executive producers of today's show. Every day we have an executive producer. It's the person who tips the most. All you got to do is tip the most. Thank you to Peter and to Queen April. If you want to be the executive producer for Monday's show, we're going to need a tip today because we don't have one yet. You can drop something in the Cash App or the Venmo. I would appreciate it. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. About 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. right, here we go. We're back. No, Al, the show isn't over. Al's like, is the show over already? No, Al, it's not over. It's just beginning. We got a whole bunch to get to. In addition, no, never mind. I'll save this. I'll save that tease for later. Welcome back to the rant every day at noon. Me, opposition talk. We are not people who cotton to whatever the fuck is going on these days in this country as far as the politics. We are not on the right. We are not on the left. We are the 70% in the middle. I say 15% on the right are gone forever. We're never going to be able to welcome them back into civilized society. Same can be said for a 15% on the left. Those are the people that are attacking Tesla dealerships. Those people never going to come back. That leaves us 70% normal people. Opposition talk that is in opposition to the kind of talk that we are having forced down our throats on AM radio from coast to coast, and also all of the big platforms that seem to be promoting any kind of discourse in this country. It's almost always the fucking MAGA idiots. So let's try and return talk to the domain of the average middle class, working class, free thinker, the person who loves liberty, the person who loves this country, and the person who is wise enough to look at Donald Trump and go, that guy's stealing. That guy, you're fired. All right. We've been doing this every day at noon since 2021, so don't for a minute think that, we're just going to stop all of a sudden, although we do require your help. So please, if you can tip this show, if you support this kind of attempt to create discourse in this country that isn't just all one-sided, please drop a little something in the Venmo or in the Cash App. And one more time, I'll remind you that we have executive producers today. It is Queen April and Peter the Great. How do you get to be executive producer? Well, you tip. You tip the show. If you're the big tipper of the day, you get to be the executive producer of the next day's show. And that's how we've stayed in business here for the last, going on 5 years. Okay, so let's just do this right. We'll do this way. Okay, where is Barney? Barney, boom, 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 boom. Are these some Kid Rock lyrics? Here, Barney is just, freestyling some Kid Rock lyrics. Are these Kid Rock lyrics? Who knew I'd blow up like Oklahoma? Said, fuck high school. Pissed on my diploma. Smell the aroma. Check my hits. You know it stinks in here because I'm the shit. Nothing wrong with that. What? There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that, as Barney says. It's good, clean, wholesome entertainment. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a place for that. There is a place for all kinds of shit. But all kinds of shit are not the same kinds of shit. So there was a big dust up this week because Kid Rock is, of course, the main attraction for the TPUSA Alternative Super Bowl show that is happening. The halftime show at the Super Bowl features Bad Bunny and Green Day. And I don't know, some other people. I don't know. It's going to be big. It's going to be cool. And I will most definitely be watching that because that's the thing that all the normal people will be watching. But if you're not normal, you're being encouraged to go on over and watch the TPUSA Alternative Halftime All-American, All-Christian, All-White, I guess. I don't know. Probably one of the singers is going to be black because nothing I know, white Christians love black entertainers. They're totally okay with a black person getting on stage and singing and dancing, so there'll probably be some of that at the TPUSA thing. Here's my question, though. And this is an honest question. I'm being completely sincere about this as it pertains to the counter Super Bowl halftime show. Fuck, how do I even watch that? Like, where is that? Like, what? I don't know. What? There hasn't been any kind of, all I know is that there is this alternative TPUSA. Do I have to go to the TPUSA website? Because that ain't fucking happening. And people aren't going to do that. People are not going to have 30 people in their living room for a Super Bowl and then switch on. I mean, I guess some weird people will. You know what? There are, now that I think about it, there are going to be a lot of weird MAGA houses. All of them are going to be McMansions because these are all people with money. I guess there probably will be a lot of weird MAGA houses that do that. But where's it going to be? Seriously, is it just like on the TPUSA website? I know that it ain't on Fox or NBC or CBS. I don't know. Anyway. So they don't like Bad Bunny because he's not American. They flood the zone. Don't take the bait on everything. Yeah, they don't know that Bad Bunny's an American citizen. They think he's not American because, he's brown and he speaks with an accent and he sings in a different language. And they really don't know that Puerto Rico is home to American citizens. That's not something that they know. They don't know that. So they think Bad Bunny's a foreigner. So they got to do it all. It's just so. Like I said, don't take the bait. They flood the zone with all kinds of things that we can get distracted by because it's just endless fucking stupidity. All right, so Bad Bunny. By the way, Frank Smith, I don't know where Frank is today, but Frank said something on Twitter yesterday. He's like, I used to like Bad Bunny until he got all political. And I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But also, Bad Bunny didn't get all political. You people made it political because you don't like brown people with accents. He's not like out. He's responding to all of this shit that you people created. But Bad Bunny is not an artist who is known for being political. All right? He doesn't do protest songs. It's fucking Bad Bunny. I don't even know what Bad Bunny does. I'll find out because I'll be fucking watching that. You want to hear my prediction, though? And this is part of the reason that I am doing this. The reason that I want to compare Bruce Springsteen and Kid Rock, because here's my prediction. Bruce Springsteen's going to play at the Super Bowl. And he's probably going to play Streets of Minneapolis at the fucking Super Bowl because a couple of days ago, as Maddie so aptly pointed out, the NFL fucking hates this guy. The NFL was playing nice with this guy when they were figuring out what exactly could happen to them, like going back to the Colin Kaepernick thing, right? They would placate him and they would say, be nice, play nice with Trump. He was very ugly about it, right? He started, we all need to boycott the NFL. And, initially, I think the NFL was like, oh, fuck, what's this going to be? And then guess what happened? Nothing. Because MAGA have no discipline. And they love fucking football. And they really are not going to cross that Rubicon where because they have this love for Trump, they're suddenly not going to like football anymore. So the boycott of the NFL 10 years ago did not work. Didn't work at all. And the owners saw this and the league saw this. And as Maddie pointed out a couple of days ago, this halftime show now at this point is just one big fucking troll of the president. The NFL is trolling this guy. They're fucking with them because they're untouchable, because they truly are a global league, and they fired the one bullet that they had 10 years ago. Let's boycott the NFL, and nobody fucking did. So the NFL's like, yeah, shut up now. That's what the NFL's about. Normal people will keep the NFL robust and thriving for generations to come. I promise you that. It will not be this wingnut faction of fucking American weirdos who boycott everything. These people can't watch Netflix. Oh, now they can't watch HBO Max because of gay hockey? What is this? Some gay hockey show on it? Can't watch Netflix, can't watch HBO Max. I know you ain't watching Prime because you don't like Bezos. Can't watch football. So here's what you get. You get Kid Rock and Lee Greenwood on a sketchy internet connection while the rest of the fucking world is watching the Super Bowl. Enjoy this weird fucking life you've carved out for yourself, you fucking freaks. Forgot where I was. See, once I start ranting, I get off topic and I lose my place and I don't know where I am. But, I think we've learned from 5 years of me doing this show that let's just go with the rant. I'm also, just fun fact, I'm also fighting off right now at this moment. I'm fighting off the hiccups. So we're going to see if I can push through this. All right. So Kid Rock, he's the beacon now of Christian family values because he is the headliner. Horrible Bad Bunny, horrible whatever. My prediction, Bruce Springsteen is going to play at the Super Bowl. You will see. And I think it'll be Streets of Minneapolis because the NFL don't give a fuck. All right. That's where I was. Right. The NFL is openly fucking with him. Right. So Kid Rock got criticized from the left this week. I mean, I don't even know if it's from the left. I don't know, it's just somebody who's trying to, stir shit online. But they pointed out that Mr. Family Values, Mr. Christian Right Wing, Mr. MAGA, Mr. Kid Rock, Bob Ritchie, if you will, who is in the pantheon of American musical artists, successful American musical artists, right? Let's talk about people who have had multiple songs on the radio. We're talking about successful American musical artists. Kid Rock is somewhere muddled in the forgettable middle. Kid Rock is, I'm trying to think of who is Kid Rock akin to as far as power player in the music business. Kid Rock's musical legacy is akin to Creed. Creed might be bigger than Kid Rock. Nickelback sure as fuck is bigger than Kid Rock. But to compare Kid Rock to the likes of Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, any number of people, you're a goddamn fool, okay? You don't know what you're talking about, and we saw a whole lot of that going around online this week. Kid Rock is so much better than Bruce Springsteen. All right, so let's just fucking give context to what we're talking about here, okay? We can't even talk about album sales. We can't talk about album sales, and we can't talk about concert grosses because what's the point? Bruce Springsteen has 100 times more than Kid Rock in both the categories of album sales and concert grosses. Okay, so stop it. Let's just talk about combined. Let's talk about album sales. Let's talk about hits. Let's talk about digital downloads, because now everything's about digital downloads, although both of these artists aren't necessarily known to be digital artists. You know who is? Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's a huge digital artist, but let's compare that just for the people who are living in this universe where they think Kid Rock is in any way, shape, or form on the same fucking level as Bruce Springsteen. Kid Rock's total combined digital and physical sales, 39 million. 39 million units combined of record sales and physical and digital downloads. 39 million. 39 million for Kid Rock. Combined digital and album sales. 290 million for Bruce Springsteen. So shut the fuck up. They aren't in the same league. You're a fool if you think that Kid Rock has the same stature as Bruce Springsteen. So just stop it. Now let's talk about the other aspect of this, the artistry. Now, this is something that is going to be, dependent on the individual. Art is art. I'm a guy that I believe that anything that you look at that came from nothing, somebody creates something. The example of the blank white page, whether they're writing something on this blank white page that didn't exist before they wrote it, or whether they're drawing something on this blank white page that didn't exist before they wrote it. If they created it out of their mind and manifested it into something that I can look at, that is art. That is creation. All creation is art. That ain't art. Art's something that some Dutch master did and you hang it on a museum. What the fuck? You shut up. I'm tired of dealing with stupid people. Okay? Art can be anything. It is up to you as the individual, as the person who is affected by it, to determine whether or not it is good art or it is garbage art. That's just a fact. And we can disagree. Reasonable people can disagree on what is good art and what is garbage art. And that's why before we did this comparison between Kid Rock and Bruce Springsteen, I wanted to show what the commercial viability of both these people are, because that is a different category. The new kids on the block have outsold the Bottle Rockets 1,000,000 to 1, but I will go to my dying grave saying that the Bottle Rockets are a much better musical act than the new kids. You don't even know who the Bottle Rockets are. So Kid Rock, Mr. Christian Values, Mr. Reinvented Himself, Mr. Good Guy, he's going to get up and he's going to do some songs at the TPUSA Counter Super Bowl halftime event. An event that I don't know how to fucking watch. I have no idea. So people on the left started sharing some Kid Rock lyrics, right? some Kid Rock lyrics, and I mean, they're fucking exactly what do you think Kid Rock is? Kid Rock has always been a representative of the loser class. All right? That's what he is. Kid Rock always looked like a dirtbag. His fans were dirtbags, and then he crossed over into the mainstream, and we all got a little dirtbaggy for about 18 months in the early 2000s. But then we all forgot, because why? He couldn't follow up. Kid Rock, that whole thing that he broke through, that rap rock thing, right? You had him, you had Limp Bizkit. There were a bunch of bands that broke through with the whole rap rock thing. He couldn't follow that up. So his subsequent albums became duets with fucking Sheryl Crow and just all kinds of... Just saying, he's not good. He's garbage. He doesn't know what he is. He got famous and he wanted to stay famous, so he started doing whatever the fuck he could do to sell albums. And guess what? After about 3-4 years on that fucking ride, his career stabilized to a point where, okay, he's going to do county fairs for the next 30 years. And that's where he was until MAGA. He wasn't some big bankable star and we were all waiting for his next album. No, he used MAGA to raise his level of importance. The difference between Kid Rock and Scott Stapp is that Scott Stapp probably doesn't support Donald Trump to the degree that Kid Rock does. That's all. That's why we know him. He's been given a career reboost simply because of his politics. And now a whole bunch of people, a bunch of blue-haired Christian ladies and the TPUSA Christian crowd and all that, now they're going to be forced to watch Kid Rock. And as somebody said on Twitter, this is Kid Rock, Grandma. You like him now. It's like, okay. So what is he going to do? What is he going to do? Some lyrics from some songs that he had hits with. I don't know that he can do those songs, right? How is he going to do? And this was the song that was given the most play, although I've seen a bunch of different excerpts of lyrics from Kid Rock's career. They're all stupid guy lyrics. They're all like dumb guy lyrics. They're all behind on child support guy lyrics, which, seriously, it's the 6th. I shouldn't say that loud. I got a payment to make. The song Cool Daddy Cool is the one that got the most play online. All right. Cool Daddy Cool. It says here, wonder if Kid Rock will sing Cool Daddy Cool. Let's see here. Where are some lyrics? All right, so here are the lyrics from Kid Rock, who is, and by the way, in these times of Epstein, this is not great. But here's your Christian all-American family values headline entertainer. Just don't tell me these people don't sell out. This is what having no principles gets you. You end up with a bunch of fucking lame Christian people having to pretend they like Kid Rock simply because he's not from Puerto Rico, a place that they don't even realize is in the Americans. The Americans is in the United States. It's not a state, but they're citizens. All right, so here are the lyrics, right? I wonder if he'll be singing Cool Daddy Cool. Here's what Kid's saying. Young ladies, I like them underage. See, some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. Here's the beautiful thing about Kid Rock and Kid Rock lyrics. He's a terrible artist, so he doesn't do nuance and he doesn't really paint picture. He's an on-the-nose motherfucker, and that is exactly what Kid Rock is singing. Hell, before that, and I'm not familiar with this song because I don't like trash music, but this song, I wonder if before it he went, I'm Kid Rock. Did he make sure that everybody listening knew that these lyrics were from him, his perspective? I'm Kid Rock and I'm a piece of shit. Okay, yeah, we got that, dude. We know it. I'm Kid Rock. I like young ladies. I like them underage. He flat out fucking says it. Why? Because back in the 90s, you could say that shit and it was shocking and provocative and it got you buzz. Here we are 30 years later and it's like, he's with the Epstein guys. Yep. Here's more proof that this celebrity and 1% cabal has been operating in the open for years. I don't know that that's true. Here's what I think. I think Bob Ritchie was Michigan trash, who in his 20s was probably still fucking 17-year-olds, and he's singing about it. That's all. Let's call it what it is. This isn't, him shining a light on some cabal that he's a part of. No. So there's the lyrics. Those are the lyrics that people have been saying that Kid Rock is a hypocrite, or the people at TPUSA, they're hypocrites, because how could they present Kid Rock as a symbol of American family values and Christian America when he's got a song where he sings, young ladies, I like them underage. See, some say it's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. It's a terrible lyric anyway. It is a fucking garbage lyric. Statutory and mandatory. They're fucking Ori in the middle. It's a middle rhyme. It's a terrible fucking rhyme. It's not. But it is art. It is art. I don't have to like it or call it good art, but it is creation. He wrote that. There was a piece of paper and there was nothing on it, and then that came out of him, and then there was that. It's art. I'm sorry. It is. It's not good art, though. At least not in my judgment. All right. So after this started to everything's about whataboutism. Oh, whataboutism. What about Bruce Springsteen is certainly in the news. He's a huge thorn in the side of MAGA right now. His song, The Streets of Minneapolis, burning up the digital download charts around the world as we speak. He's incredibly hot and relevant as an artist today. Legitimately, he saw something happen, he wrote a song, he put it out, and the song became big. Kid Rock's not that kind of relevant. Kid Rock is relevant because people who do anything for the president see Kid Rock hanging out with the president, and so now he's got attention. But he didn't get it through his own abilities. Kid Rock didn't put out a song that suddenly became the number one song downloaded around the world. 19 countries, I think, or 22 countries is how it peaked. No, this is all just whataboutism and counter bullshit. So Bruce Springsteen was offered up by the MAGA crowd as an example of how, well, Bruce is a pedophile too. And what did they use? They used the song I'm on Fire. All right. So I'm going to give you the lyrics to I'm on Fire, but one more time, let me give you the lyrics to Kid Rock. I'm Kid Rock, and I like young ladies. Young ladies, I like them underage. I like them underage. I like them underage. See, some say it's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. I'm Kid Rock. All right. So that's Cool Daddy Cool from Kid Rock. So let's do Bruce's I'm on Fire, okay? Here are the lyrics to Bruce's I'm on Fire. I can give them to you off the top of my head, but I'll read them verbatim. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Huh? All right, pretty, in a vacuum. That's pretty. At night, I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head. Only you can cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Huh? Tell you, my favorite lyric is, tell me now, baby, is he good to you? Does he do to you the things that I do? I can take you higher. Oh, I'm on fire. All right, so obviously the problematic lyrics are the ones where he starts out and he says, no, that's not it. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Right? Because remember, we're used to Kid Rock where everything is on the fucking nose and there's no gray area. There's no artistic expression going on. We're all Kid Rock minded, so it's on the nose. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Well, he's obviously talking to a 5-year-old and wanting to know if he can rape her. I mean, that would be a stupid person who doesn't appreciate, creation. That might be the way they would look at it. But let me tell you what the difference is between Bruce Springsteen writing I'm on Fire and Kid Rock writing Cool Daddy Cool. We've already established that the character or the lines, the lyrics are being sung from the standpoint of Kid Rock himself. I'm on Fire is not from Bruce Springsteen's perspective. It's a completely different story. Bruce Springsteen, when he wrote I'm on Fire, I'm on Fire is actually a song called Spanish Eyes that he wrote in 1975. After Bruce became good friends with Johnny Cash, he ended up reworking a Johnny Cash beat with the lyrics to Spanish Eyes, and he created I'm on Fire. Now, this song, I'm on Fire, was worked out that way around about 1979. If you know anything about Bruce, 1979, that era, huge transitional era for him. Bruce Springsteen had always kind of written from the perspective of the Jersey guy on the earlier albums. Bruce was now spreading his artistic wings, and as everybody who's a Bruce Springsteen fan knows, Darkness on the Edge of Town, that era. Oh, as depicted in the movie. If you watch the Nebraska, Darkness on the Edge of Town, Nebraska, Born in the USA, this was an era that Bruce was in where he was obsessed with people like Charles Starkweather. Do you know who Charles Starkweather is? Charles Starkweather is a mass murderer. He's a fascinating guy. He was obsessed with Truman Capote's In Cold Blood. Bruce, for about 3 albums, at least as far as him writing, became obsessed with the viewpoint of the dangerous outlaw, the murderer. The song State Trooper, I've mentioned that a couple of times. It's one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. The song State Trooper is from the perspective of a guy who's going to murder a cop. And he's driving. The song is from the perspective of a guy who's driving, and he looks in his mirror and he sees the state trooper behind him. And Bruce is singing as the guy saying, don't pull me over, man. You got a wife and kids you want to go home to. Do not pull me over because I am at my wit's end. That is not Bruce Springsteen going, I'm Bruce and I could kill a cop. He's an artist. He's fucking writing from the perspective of somebody who's very dark. That is what I'm on Fire is. I'm on Fire came from that era where Bruce was no longer singing as Bruce, a member of the E Street Band, New Jersey's own. He was singing from the perspective of other people. Now, that eventually led to Born in the USA, which all of those songs were written during this period as well. It just was assembled into a more upbeat kind of thing. But that's why this movie was made. Anyway, the Bruce Springsteen movie, I should say, that explains this whole thing. That movie was made to explain to people why Bruce Springsteen went from Nebraska to Born in the USA. And it explains how that transition occurred. Bruce Springsteen, when he sings, Hey, Little Girl, Is Your Daddy Home? He is not singing from his perspective. He is singing from the perspective of an incredibly dark criminal character. And also, let me point this out, because again, Bruce Springsteen's lyrics are anything but on the nose. He is not like Kid Rock going, I'm kidding, I like underage girls. Kid is flat out saying he likes underage girls. This lyric, Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go away and leave you all alone? I mean, I suppose if you were going to just look at that and, and you weren't going to use any kind of artistic interpretation, you'd be like, okay, little girl, that is a little girl. He is specifically saying little girl. Is your daddy home? Okay, daddy, this is the little girl's father. Obviously, he's trying to make sure that there is no parental unit around. What's he going to do? But also, the way this is phrased, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? That it's very common to refer to a fully grown woman as my little girl or my baby or my sweetie. And is your daddy home? That could just be boyfriend or husband. Who's your daddy? These are all very common things. And back in the 1970s, when these guys were writing, we weren't thinking about how these words could be dissected 50 years later. He was an artist. He was an established artist, and he was considered a great artist. So when you take a fucking stupid Kid Rock lyric where he's just one of these dumbass fucking rap rock guys screaming about how he don't care how old a girl is, it's different than when Bruce Springsteen is trying to channel someone like Charles Starkweather. It's a completely different comparison. But go ahead, stupid people. Have fun. All right, there you go. All right, we're done. There you go. That's the big Kid Rock versus Bruce Springsteen argument. All right, let's see here. What else do we have to get into today? We've got a couple of other things. Let's watch this. This is pretty. There's not going to be any. Here, Space Babies. We'll do this one real quick. So scientists, you can fuck in space, all right? So if you want to go up in space and have sex, that's great. But if you think you're going to start a family and you're going to produce a child in space, no, you're not. No, there's too many problems there. No, can't get pregnant in space right now. Now, maybe they'll fix something and you'll be able to get pregnant in space. But right now, no space babies. Are they going to try? Like, you know what I mean? Did they try? Because they wouldn't tell us. You know what I mean? They wouldn't tell us if, like, okay, here's what's going on in the space station. These people are staying up there for years at a time. They very well could be raising and killing toddlers. I'm just pointing out what science, they might, like, chick might get pregnant up there. Like, okay, she's pregnant. Like, I'm sure that maybe this has happened. I don't know. I'm sure. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I'm not sure. Free ball in here. But who's to say that they didn't already get a chick pregnant up in space and the baby was born a mutant, right? Like the baby was all, like it came out like all chromosomally scrambled. And because, space. I don't know. It was probably different pressure and stuff when it's in utero. I have no idea. But anyway, scientists are now saying, yeah, we're gonna try and have any babies in space. They'll turn out like mutants. How do you know that? Don't ask. Just don't ask. All right. There's just a bunch of like dead baby fetuses floating around in space. Babies with horns. Just weird, different evolutionary species of humans that were born and couldn't survive in space. All right. So no babies in space. So we got that. Also, what else do I want to mention? We'll go into that. Okay. Before we do this, before we get into that, we'll talk Super Bowl stuff and Olympics. And by the way, I want to mention April. Now, I know that you're Queen April, and I know that you're important today because you are one of our big executive producers. Yes, I know that the opening ceremonies are going on right now. Earlier in the show, I said that I wanted to maybe do a live stream tonight when we're all watching the opening ceremonies because it's like a parade of nations, and it's always fun for me because there's new nations, whatever. So April's like, but it's going on now. You can do it now. Nobody's watching it now. Nobody can watch it now. We're all going to watch it together at 8 o'clock. It's not like there's anything going to be revealed. Well, actually, if something happened, it would be revealed. But it's not like there's a competition. It's not like, oh, we're going to find out who won the walk-in. No, we'll watch it at 8 o'clock tonight. But yeah, I know April. April's like, it's on now because of the time change. Yeah, I know. Maddie has to say about the whole Bruce and Kid Rock. She says angry white boy music is all that shit was. Talking about Kid Rock. I dug it a bit, and it was catchy for a half minute, but Limp Bizkit and the ilk who incited riots at music festivals are over. You jumped the shark on me on that one. They didn't incite any riots. I could have behaved better, but if you're going to have that kind of ire for Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst for what went on at Lollapalooza all those years ago, you better hold that same tone for fucking Travis, whatever his name is down there. Look, they could have behaved better, but they're not responsible for how their idiot fans behave. But I understand. It is, I mean, were we all into rap rock for like 18 months? For like 18 months, we're like, this could be cool, right? Maybe somebody really good in this genre will come along. And then we'll have a real genre, and that didn't happen because the only people that rose to the top were like Limp Bizkit. They were terrible. And Kid Rock, and he was even worse. Limp Bizkit is much better than Kid Rock, by the way. That would be a good comp. Like Limp Bizkit would be huge right now if they would just go full-blown MAGA like Kid Rock, but... All right, here's what I want to say before we go into the Super Bowl stuff. I don't care about the Olympics. All right, I really don't care. I have it here as a topic. We were going to talk about the Olympics. They start this week. I don't care about the Olympics. I don't care about the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics, you would think they would be the fun ones, and they're not, though. Our hockey team always sucks. I know we won in the 80s. Our hockey team always sucks. The only thing that we as a country are good at is figure skating, and that's boring. It's like, luge. Who cares about luge? By the way, did you guys see that commercial on Saturday Night Live last Saturday about the Winter Olympics? Oh my God. Yeah, let's watch it. Let's watch that fake Olympics commercial from Saturday Night Live because the premise was brilliant. The premise, when they were in the writing room and they came up with this premise, I'd have been like, that is a great premise. The premise is it is a profile of the athletes, that NBC will be promoting Let me make sure I get this. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay. The premise is that NBC is promoting their athletes. And one of the athletes who's really good at their sport is terrified of their sport. So the premise is that, well, you'll see. All right, let's watch this. Here you go. This is from SNL on Saturday. This will be our Olympic coverage because I thought this was pretty good. This probably would have gone viral over the week if not for that Ashley Padilla MAGA Mom sketch. The MAGA Mom sketch took all the air out of last week's Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live last week was pretty damn good. It's pretty funny. Here, let's watch this. Here you go. This is a commercial for NBC promoting their Winter Olympics and all of the stars of the Winter Olympics that we need to pay attention to. Here we go.
The Winter Olympics are a week away. Now meet some of the athletes who push themselves to the limit of human endurance for the chance to compete at the Games in Milan.
No one said it would be easy, but it's all worth it when I'm out on the slopes with my board.
When I'm on the ice, I feel alive. It's my purpose.
I hate the luge. It's way too fast. It scares me to death, and I seriously hate it.
16 gripping winter sports.
I've been wanting this my whole life. I'm living my dream.
This is a nightmare. I hate the thing I'm good at.
Over 2,000 athletes. But only the best of the best will bring home the gold.
I've trained for this since I was 4 years old.
You just gotta want it. No one's born the best.
In luge, being the best is sort of just a height and weight distribution thing. I honestly think a corpse that's my same shape could win.
Every athlete brings something different to the table.
What makes me unique? Definitely my slope style. I try to ride very clean.
My signature move is definitely my English triple axel.
I just go straight down like everyone, but I scream the whole time.
And behind every Olympian is an equally dedicated coach.
Coaching Claire has been one of the greatest gifts of my life.
Well, coaching Gertie is a battle. Trying to get her on the sled, get her down the hill, get her to stop freaking out and pretending to be sick, etc.
I'm sick!
You're not sick! Go down the hill!
I can't! I don't want to! I'm sick!
Whoa! Look at that spider! It's crazy! The sport needs her. She's a once-in-a-generation shape.
They're not just playing for themselves. They're playing for us all.
I'm doing this for you, Mom.
I'm so proud of my little girl. I've been cheering her on since she won her very first event.
After years of preparation, it's go time for the athletes.
I'm locked in. No distractions.
Before a competition, the name of the game is focus.
The name of the game for me is to confuse and ultimately silence my survival instinct.
See if they have what it takes to win.
We'll see you in Milan.
Not me, though, because I'm sick. I can't go.
You can't.
No!
The Winter Olympics in Milan.
All right, there you go. That's the Saturday Night Live Winter Olympics fake commercial from last week. She's a once-in-a-generation shape. I hate the thing I'm good at. That's very funny. That's very funny. All right, so they start this weekend. I don't give a shit. I really don't care about the Olympics. There are going to be stories that we will cover over the next few weeks because, that's what happens. Probably not going to be competition related. There'll be other things that we'll talk about. But anyway, the Winter Olympics start today. The opening ceremonies are tonight. And there you go. Here's what the Olympics should be, right? Can we just stop with all of this shit, right? These are all dumb sports that nobody is good at. There's only a few people in the world who are good at these things. So, let's let them all compete against each other. They're dumb sports. They're stupid. Here's what the Olympics should be. There should be a Summer Olympics and there shouldn't be a Winter Olympics. You want to know how we dumb it down to the level of the world today? This is what we do. Once every year. Yeah, it should be once a year. Once every year. Every country on the planet sends one person, all right? And then they all fucking fight. That's all. They all just fight. Like every country sends one guy, we lock him in a gym, and we go, all right, and we film it, and we just watch it, and it takes place over 2 weeks. We'll drop food in there, people with broken bones and bloody. Some guys will like get hurt on the first night and then not die until like week or day 12 or something. That'd be great. Isn't that what the Olympics should really be? It's a depiction of the competitive spirit of the world, and we're all brought together under the... Now fucking shut up. Just fight. That's all we care about. I want to know who's got the toughest guy in the world. Some dude from like I almost said North Africa. Is North Africa a place? I don't know. I just want to know who the toughest dude in the world is. Let's get a gym. Let's take everybody, and that'll be our Olympics, because nobody cares about the luge. Nobody cares about figure skating other than people who have kids who figure skate. That's it. That is it. Barney says, so the Hunger Games. Now, the Hunger Games are a little bit different. I think the Hunger Games come with just unnecessary overhead. This is easier. This is, we'll all watch it. Everybody on the fucking planet would tune into that live stream. If there was a gym with one person from each country and they were all it was a bar fight. By the way, that's also what this is. This isn't like one guy on one guy. No, this is everybody in the room, and then somebody blows a whistle, and then it's like, go! And they're just, come on, we'd all watch that. That's inhumane. Now, that was inhumane by like 2015 standards, but everything's different now. We don't give a fuck about humanity. That's clear. All right, so enjoy the Winter Olympics. They start this week. I do want to mention something here before we get into the Super Bowl and all that stuff, and that's how we'll end it. So it has been a week now. It has been a full-on week since the passing of Catherine O'Hara. Catherine O'Hara is a big one for me. There's probably a handful of celebrities who I can tell you where I was when they died, right? I remember where I was when Elvis died. I remember where I was when John Belushi, John Candy, and Chris Farley died. I remember where I was when I heard Prince and David Bowie died, right? There are just certain people who resonate in a way that other celebrities don't. Catherine O'Hara is one of them for me. Catherine O'Hara is, I've been for 5 years, every time her name comes up on this show, national treasure. I mean, she's an absolute national treasure. Although not a full-blown national treasure the way, say, a Dolly Parton is, because Catherine O'Hara is very much Canadian and also an American citizen, but still, So in the week since she died, I spent last weekend, I told you about last weekend, I was doing a whole lot of Epstein tranche going through on the Department of Justice website. So that took a lot of my time. But when I needed to erase that, I watched a whole bunch of Catherine O'Hara stuff. I watched Best in Show. I watched For Your Consideration, right? Her Chris Guest stuff. I also, I went back and I watched her arc on Curb Your Enthusiasm. On Curb Your Enthusiasm, she played Bam Bam. She played a character named Bam Bam Funkhauser. Funkhauser was Larry on Curb Your Enthusiasm's best friend, portrayed by Super Dave Osborne. Super Dave Osborne played Funkhauser. Well, Funkhauser had a sister, and she did a couple of episode arc on Curb, and the sister was portrayed by Catherine O'Hara, and her name was Bam Bam Funkhauser. And she's just so brilliant with characters. She's just never the same in any movie. And people know her most high profile from Home Alone, where she isn't being Catherine O'Hara in Home Alone. She's just being a generic mom. She's not doing one of her characterizations. So anyway, Bam Bam Funkhauser on Curb Your Enthusiasm was so funny. She plays, her character has just been released from a mental asylum, and she's also a nymphomaniac. And anyway, Bam Bam Funkhauser was great. But that's not my point. It's been a week since Catherine O'Hara died, and I started on Tuesday. And I don't know why it took me this long, but her passing got me here. So I started on Tuesday watching Schitt's Creek, which is probably one of the great third acts in any National Treasure's career, right? Catherine O'Hara shouldn't have had the biggest television hit of her career at the very end of her life, but, she did. She reteamed with Eugene Levy, her partner from Second City, the Second City TV show where we all first were introduced to Catherine O'Hara. And they had a massive hit with a television show that is considered by many to be one of the greatest situation comedies of all time. I had never seen it. I didn't. Everybody's, oh, Schitt's Creek, Schitt's Creek. Oh, you love Eugene Levy. Oh, you love Catherine O'Hara. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I never saw it. I think years and years ago, I watched like one episode and I went, oh, it's nice that they're working together again. And then I just tuned it out and went to other things. Well, on Tuesday of this week, because of the passing of her and because of all of this shit that I'm reading about her character of Moira Rose, who is the mother on Schitt's Creek, all of these people who are every bit the Catherine O'Hara fan that I am, who seem to have this real depth of this late stage career character that she created. And I had absolutely zero familiarity with Moira Rose, other than a couple of memes that I've seen her in, but didn't actually get to see Catherine O'Hara create this character. Started watching Schitt's Creek on Tuesday. I'm a fool for taking this long. That show is brilliantly written. And the performances, especially if you're somebody who goes way back to the Second City days with Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, it is just fantastic watching those two people who just better chemistry. I don't know. I mean, Catherine O'Hara's chemistry work back then, she was really good with John Candy. Like it was Catherine O'Hara and John Candy. They were great together, but then it was Eugene Levy. Her and Eugene Levy were great. So I don't know why I never watched Schitt's Creek, but I am. I'm now in season 2. It's a brilliant show. And I am just so pleased that there is this piece, this amazing piece of the great Catherine O'Hara's career that I wasn't familiar with. I knew it existed, but I didn't watch it for whatever reason. And now I get to mourn her as I am, because it's very sad. I get to watch something new that's new to me, that is recent stuff that she did. Now, the most recent thing that she did is The Studio on Apple TV. That's the show that she is currently until last week, one of the main cast members of. And she's fantastic in that. But she's done there. She's only going to be in the first season of The Studio, and she's wonderful in the first season of The Studio, but she's dead now, so she won't go on. There's like 6 seasons of Schitt's Creek of this character of Moira Rose that I am unfamiliar with that I now get to enjoy. So just wanted to share that. She was just so good. She was just so funny in everything. Her ability. And then on top of that, the person, whenever all of the interviews, anytime you saw these cast interviews where it's like her and all the rest of her cast, they are always so deferential to her. Like she's fucking Katharine Hepburn, for crying out loud. And she is so wonderful with their praise. I mean, she just seems like such a nice person. And all right, there we go. That's enough. I just wanted to mention that. If you've never seen Schitt's Creek, it's available now. It's all over the place. It used to be on Netflix. It is no longer on Netflix, but that's okay because now it's everywhere. I think I found it was available to me on Prime. Except for some reason, I started watching it on Prime, and Prime gives me commercials. Whatever this is, I don't know if it's available on Prime through one of those sketchy ass free TV apps that's included with Prime. I don't know, but I got off Prime. I'm watching it on Hulu now. It's on Hulu, and there's no commercials. And Schitt's Creek, I know. Look at Pugs. Pugs late to the party. Everybody was talking about this show 10 years ago, and now all of a sudden you're discovering it and acting like you found something the rest of us don't know about. I do apologize. Kevin says, Pugs, I was the same way with Schitt's Creek, 1 or 2 episodes, and it didn't click. Gonna give it another go. Yeah, Kevin, you should. I got like 2-3 episodes in on this most recent rewatch, and it's Chris Elliott, who is so funny. Mike Short. It's like all Martin Short's older brother. Mike Short is a regular in it, who is also on one of the later seasons of Second City or SCTV. Also, here's something that I'll point out that I never really got before, and as a matter of fact, I kind of didn't like. Daniel Levy the son of Eugene Levy, who I love, the son of Eugene Levy, Daniel Levy, is hysterical. The guy is hysterical. And why wouldn't he be? He's Eugene Levy's son, but he's so good. And I just always, he's kind of effeminate. He's a gay man and all that kind of stuff. And, he does, those commercials for rent.com or whatever that he does. He might strike you as like, leanest New York, fancy art gallery type guy, whatever. It's kind of the character he plays in Schitt's Creek. And I always dismissed him because I was like, I don't want to hear from this guy. Another one of these, bleh. He's brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant in this show. So yeah, Kev, check it out. I'd love, get at least 5 episodes in before you decide, because I did notice that in my rewatch. It was after like 2 or 3, episode 3 or something, where I started going, okay, so now I'm understanding the dynamic of these characters, and this is actually pretty interesting. And Chris Elliott's funny. I love Chris Elliott. All right, there you go. That's my little, probably the last tribute we'll do to Catherine O'Hara, because she's been dead for a week, and I've had a full week to process this. All right, ready? This is we like to do a show for normal people, right? All right, so we're going to show you the difference between a normal person and Adam Reyna. Adam Reyna would like me to be corrected. He's not gay. He's bi or demisexual. Yeah, Adam, see, normal people, we're okay with just calling him gay. We don't care who else he's fucking. That's demisexual. Shut up. I don't even know what demisexual is. I was very demisexual in high school. I had a picture of Demi Moore that I used quite often. I guess that would make me demisexual. Okay, all right. So thanks, Adam. Thanks, Adam. He sleeps with Stevie, who's also terrific. Stevie's very funny in Schitt's Creek. Yeah, I know he sleeps with Stevie, but I also know that he comes out. I also know that that's one of the big reveals in Schitt's Creek, is that character comes out, and it's a big, beautiful moment. And I know because I've heard him and Eugene talking about it together on a podcast. So, by the way, funny story though about him coming out. I've been listening to a lot of Catherine O'Hara, and a lot of her stuff is with, the cast of Schitt's Creek. So I was listening to a podcast earlier in the week, and they were talking about how Daniel Levy actually came out in real life to his dad. I don't think he came out as a demisexual to his dad, Adam, but how he came out to his parents. And Eugene Levy says it like this. He's like, well, we knew. Like, any parent knows. We knew, but we were waiting for him to tell us. And then one day when he was 19 years old, he went to lunch with my wife, and she just flat out asked him and said, are you gay? And he said, yes, I am. And then she came home and told me, and I said, yeah, that's what we thought. And that was it. That's the story of how Daniel, and I thought that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Like the mom and the dad are like, he's gay, and he's not telling us that he's gay. Like, it's not open yet. I wonder when he's going to feel comfortable telling us. And so they decided they would wait for him to feel comfortable. And then apparently his mom couldn't wait. And over lunch, she was like, are you gay? And he's like, yep. And then she came home and told Eugene, and it was never a big deal, as it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. So there you have it. So I don't know. Whatever. Eugene thinks his son is gay. I'm sure Eugene isn't like, no, he's pansexual. What the fuck? Now I got to know what fucking demisexual is. But why do you know what demisexual is, Adam? What universe are you rolling around in? Demisexual. Never even heard that term before. Demisexuality is a sexual orientation on the asexual spectrum. I'm out. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't care. You're already talking bullshit to me. I don't know what that is. Fine. You know what that is to me? Whatever. Whatever you want to do. I don't care. Are you asking me to have sex with you? I only have sex with women. That's me. I don't judge other people. I don't care. Honestly, I'm not really into having sex with women all that much either. I guess I'm asexual. Maybe that is probably. Am I demisexual? Adam, am I demisexual? Now I got to go back and read the rest of it. I got to read the rest of demisexual to see if this is what I am. Demisexual is a sexual orientation on the asexual spectrum where individuals experience sexual attraction only after forming a strong emotional bond with somebody. It emphasizes connection over physical, instant, or primary attraction. It is not a choice or a preference, but a consistent fundamental need for emotional intimacy before sexual attraction can occur. Yeah, no, that ain't me. That ain't me. If I like walk into a place and see a really sexy woman and she's like, "You want to do it in the parking lot?" I'd be like, "Yeah." I don't need like some strong. If it's sex is an act. Sex is a physical act. All of the other things that combine to create the phenomena of making love is different than sex. Sex happens in prison all the time. That ain't making love. There is a difference. Sex is an act. So yeah, I don't need to have I need to have a strong emotional bond with somebody before I can be in a relationship with them. But not sex. I don't need to be in a relationship to have sex with somebody. And there are people I hate that I would have sex with. Christy Nome, Lorena Bovert. Who else? Who else do I hate that I'd have sex? Almost any of them MAGA tramps, like the Mar-a-Lago tramps, they're all doable, you know. Don't have to have an emotional bond with them in order. I just don't want to ride home with them. You know, I just don't have any awkward conversation. All right, let's go into the Super Bowl nonsense because we got a Super Bowl coming up this weekend. We'll start off. I will tell you that the Seattle Seahawks are going to win. All right, the Seattle Seahawks are going to beat the fucking brakes off the New England Patriots. That's what I believe. Now let me tell you what the Kelly method believes. The Kelly method is the method of picking games based on mascot versus mascot. She didn't know anything about football, really. Nothing about strategy. Didn't have any idea who the personnel involved were. She just looked at the mascot and said that mascot could beat that mascot. So here's what we got. Let's apply the Kelly method. We've got a Seahawk taking on a Patriot. A Seahawk, we've established, is a fictional bird. There's no such thing as a Seahawk. A Seahawk is just a common name, non-scientific for these birds. What they are probably describing, and this is what most Seahawk fans will claim, an osprey. So really, we're talking about the Seattle Ospreys. That's the kind of bird that they are calling the Seahawk. Okay, so that's just a bird. It's like a fucking seagull. What is it? Well, hold on. You know what? I really do got to look at what an osprey is. Let's see. What is an osprey? All right. It's a premier brand of backpacks, apparently. Apparently, the brand of backpacks are more famous than the bird. All right, here's an osprey. All right, here's what it looks like a hawk. It looks, okay, well, Seahawk. There you go. All right, so an osprey is a hawk that lives near the water. That's what we've got here. So what are you saying, Pugs? A hawk that lives near a water. You mean a Seahawk? Yeah, I guess that is it. All right, so that's what a Seahawk is. It's not a seagull. For years, I thought it was a seagull. Those are what Seahawks are. Seagulls. I knew there was no like actual scientific, entomological bird called a Seahawk. I know that was a colloquial name that, humans apply. Look at that Seahawk, like that. I knew it was an osprey. All right, so that's what we got. We got a bird. We got a bird taking on a Patriot. Now, these are not, the J6ers. Patriots, America. It's not them. It's not a modern guy. These are very specifically New England Patriots, Minutemen from the Revolutionary War. We know what they got. They got heavy coats that are wool that weigh them down when it snows. They've got these terrible, terrible weapons that almost never fire, and they take forever just to fire a little ball. They are soldiers nonetheless. They are trained soldiers from that period of time, using the weaponry afforded to human beings in that period of time. They can still kill a bird. All right. People were killing birds long before we had machine guns or whatever. So the weaponry that the Patriot has is of no consequence. He's just going to keep shooting at that bird. What's the bird going to do? It's a hawk. It's a human being. Kelly Method says the Patriots are going to win this game. Kelly Method takes the Patriots, although let's be honest, it's going to be the Seahawks. It's going to be the Seahawks. It's going to run. It's going to be, you'll see. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be the Seahawks, and I think it's probably going to be a 2-score win. Okay? 2-score. Is that 10 points? Is that 14 points? I don't know. Is it 9 points? Anyway, I'm just saying 2-score win for the Seahawks. Congratulations to them. And quite honestly, everybody is rooting for the Seahawks, right? I mean, there can't be a decent human being in this country who wants to see the New England Patriots win another Super Bowl under a completely new regime. You're telling me that this doesn't particularly irritate the Dallas Cowboy fan? Because I can tell you, it particularly irritates the Chicago Bear fan. What the hell? How are they able to just completely reload? So it wasn't just the coach. It wasn't just the quarterback. It wasn't just the organization, or maybe it was just the fucking organization. Because they haven't been in a Super Bowl in 5 years, 6? How long have the New England Patriot fans had to wait for another Super Bowl? This is bullshit. They're back again. It's got to be the organization. It's got to be. It's a completely different head coach. It's a completely different quarterback. It's completely different teams. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, the organization, they won a whole bunch of trophies. As soon as that got broken up, all of a sudden something was offset. Belichick didn't win anything without Brady. Brady won something without Belichick and Kraft. Went down there and joined Bruce Arians in Tampa and got himself another Super Bowl. But Bob Kraft looked at Bill Belichick and said, you know what? I think I can do this on my own. And within 5 years, they've just rebuilt? 6 years? I don't know how long it's been. It ain't been long enough is my point. And the Patriots are back. So I can't imagine that there's any real true NFL football fan that is sitting here looking forward to a Patriot victory. It's going to kill all of us. But it truly is a representation of that organization. It's got to be, because that is the only thing that is the same, and they are back in the Super Bowl again. So forget about it being Belichick. Forget about it all being Brady, although it probably is something to do with Brady, because Brady did win another one down there in Tampa. So, all right. So Kelly Method says that the Patriots are going to win. Pugs says that the Seahawks are going to win. Let's talk about Super Bowl week. Has there been any big stories from Super Bowl this week? Like, there's not a big scandal. Although maybe something big, something big always breaks Saturday, right? Saturday before the Super Bowl is when, Michael Irvin gets arrested in the hotel parking lot, or something like, you know what I mean? Something crazy always happens on the Saturday before the Super Bowl. So maybe we'll have that to look forward to. But last night, the NFL held their annual NFL Honors Awards. This is like the Oscars for the NFL. Once again, I didn't see it. I didn't even know it was on. I didn't even know the Pro Bowl game was already played. I thought that was like the week after the Super Bowl. Apparently, they played the Pro Bowl last week. Heard all about, this is the problem living in a social media environment. I hear all about the Pro Bowl. I just didn't know when it was on or when I should watch it. Same with this NFL Honors thing. What was this on ESPN? I don't watch TV the way I used to. Like, I would have, 15 years ago, I probably would have caught the NFL Honors, because I'd have been sitting on a couch with a cable box or a satellite box, and I'd have been flipping. Flip, what's on, flip, what's on, flip. You're browsing. We can't browse anymore when we watch TV. It's all a la carte. We have to know what we're looking for before we watch it. It is so rare to stumble across anything the way we used to when we used to just flip channels. So 15, 20 years ago, I might have stumbled across this, but I don't just go to the fucking ESPN app or wherever it was just to see what's on. No, I watch what I watch. It's hard. We've changed the way we watch TV. It's difficult. So anyway, I didn't see the NFL honors, which is fine because I probably wouldn't have watched the whole thing anyway. But I do have a list here of the winners. Most valuable player presented by Invisalign. Because everything has to have the Invisalign AP most valuable player. Oh, shut up. How about just NFL MVP? Everybody's got to make their fucking money. Everybody's got to make something off of something. It's so funny. It's so funny what they sell on radio. For instance, here's an example. Like breaking news. Like every, you listen to sports radio every now and again, there's going to be breaking news. Like there has been breaking news if you're a Chicago sports radio listener the last couple of days because the Chicago Bulls are just like trading everybody. So if you listen to Chicago sports radio, you'll hear like breaking news on the score, whatever. They'll interrupt with breaking news. They got a sponsor for that. Like they figured out, hey, how about if every time something new happens, we've got a sponsor that we can charge for it? It's just... So here we're looking at the AP Most Valuable Player presented by Invisalign. The Invisalign Most Valuable Player. Rams quarterback Matt Stafford. We all saw that, right? We all figured that. Matt Stafford is your AP Most Valuable Player. AP Coach of the Year Mike Vrabel. And absolutely good for Mike Vrabel. Think about this. Think about Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is done. Mike Vrabel is obviously a good coach, and he's obviously a good culture guy, and he's obviously someone who knows football. He's a player. He walks into a locker room, and unlike a lot of other coaches, Mike Vrabel commands respect like that because he's been there. Because he's been there and he's performed at the highest level. Dan Campbell has this. There's a lot of players, or there's a few coaches who have this added thing when it comes to their players listening to them, and Mike Vrabel has that. But how would you like to be the new owner? Or the new owner of the Titans came sweeping in, and they had a meeting, and the new owner decided that Mike Vrabel is not our kind of guy, so they got rid of Mike Vrabel, the new owner. We're getting rid of him. We can't win with him. So the Titans bring in some new coach. Mike Vrabel sits out a year, then gets the job with the Patriots, a team he played for and a team he's got love for. And in his first year, takes them to the Super Bowl. Fuck you, Titans. Fuck you, Titans owner. My God, what a fool. Who owns the Titans? Let's find out who that fool was who decided that Mike Vrabel wasn't his kind of coach and that they could do better. Because in his very next stop in the first season, he took that team to the Super Bowl. How embarrassing. So congratulations, Mike Vrabel. He is the AP Coach of the Year. AP Comeback Player of the Year is Christian McCaffrey. I mean, this could be an every year thing. There is not a more hurt player consistently in this league than Christian McCaffrey. He's got a bunch of tremendous abilities, but I'll tell you, he is lacking in the most important ability, availability. But he came back this year and he won Comeback Player of the Year. That's good. We can expect him to miss at least 8 games next year. I'm not impressed with Christian McCaffrey. I know. Oh, he's good. He's good running back for a white guy. He's hurt all the time. AP Offensive Player of the Year presented by Microsoft. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Seahawks wide receiver. They're going to have their hands full with Jackson Smith and Jigba on Sunday. I think he's going to have a very big game. All right. He's the Offensive Player of the Year. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba. Defensive Player of the Year. The AP Defensive Player of the Year. Presented by TCL, because we wouldn't have this award if it wasn't for TCL. No, we never gave this award out before we had TCL. Whatever. Money. AP Defensive Player of the Year. This isn't even a close one. It's Myles Garrett. How could it be anybody but Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett set the sack record. He had a monster year. Myles Garrett is the best thing about the Cleveland Browns. And hopefully, on the move, come on, let's get Myles to a team that can win a Super Bowl. Let's get Myles on the Bears. I'd rather have Myles Garrett than Max Crosby. Oh, but, I'll take either. You know who I don't want on the Bears? Trey Hendrickson. I'm not interested in the 31-year-old guy. Yeah, just 32. I think he's going to be when the season starts. Let's go all in. Let's get Miles. Let's give him every draft pick until 2050. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, moving on. We're doing the NFL Honors Awards. They were given out yesterday. We just told you that the Defensive Player of the Year is Myles Garrett. The AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, Tatroya McMillan. I don't even know if that's how they say his name. It's wasn't he from Arizona? Wasn't he an Arizona kid? Anyway, he's the Rookie of the Year, Tatroya McMillan. Was he the big wide receiver? Was he the first wide receiver off the board last year? I'm trying to think. Who was the big wide receiver last year? I don't know. Anyway, AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schwezinger of the Cleveland Browns. It's a linebacker. Carson Schwezinger, AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. So look at Cleveland. Look at Cleveland's defense. They've got the AP Defensive Player of the Year in Myles Garrett, and they got the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year in Carson Schwezinger. Next Gen Stats Moment of the Year, a.k.a. Play of the Year. Bears quarterback Caleb Williams, game-winning Hail Mary touchdown pass to DJ Moore versus the Packers. I think that, there's a number of Caleb Williams passes that could have made the Play of the Year, the Next Gen Stats Moment of the Year. But I think because the touchdown to DJ Moore in overtime against the Packers in the playoff game, I think because of everything it stood for. But there you go. All right, so Caleb, good for him. Got himself a Play of the Year statue. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. This is the best dude in the NFL. The Walter Payton Man of the Year. This is really nice, especially for those of us who... Where's Walter? Walter's not on that Bears post. Oh my God, I'm just realizing that I don't have Walter on my Bears post. Anyway, Chicago Bears fans, we love Walter Payton for two reasons. One, he's the greatest football player to ever play the game. That's right, I said football player. So he did everything. He was the greatest player of the game of football that the league has ever known. Fuck you, we're going to move on. But also, additional to that, he was such a dude. He was such a great dude. He was such a great dude in the community with kids. He was approachable. He really was like a fucking saint. And that is why the NFL gives their Man of the Year the title of Walter Payton Man of the Year. Because Walter Payton was he wasn't Emmitt Smith. I'm sorry. Emmitt Smith was a dick. Emmitt Smith was a cocky pro athlete jerk off. That's not what Walter Payton was. So this year's Walter Payton Man of the Year, which is, if you ask the players, aside from being MVP or offensive or defensive MVP, this is the big award. This is the one they want to win because this is the award that allows them to charge more on their advertising because brands want to be associated with the Man of the Year. Anyway, Bobby Wagner of the Commanders, linebacker the great Bobby Wagner. He is this year's Walter Payton Man of the Year. And then rounded up with the Pro Football Hall of Fame class for this year, we got Drew Brees. That's a no-brainer. Larry Fitzgerald, no-brainer. Luke Kuechly, no-brainer. Adam Vinatieri, no-brainer. Roger Craig. I'm glad to see Roger Craig of the 49ers, the Joe Montana, Bill Walsh 49ers, a team that I hold in very high regard. It's nice to see Roger Craig going in. Probably would have thought Roger Craig should have gone in 25 years ago, but okay, there you have it. That's the Hall of Fame class. You notice Bill Belichick not in it. Robert Kraft not in it. All right, guys, I think that's pretty much going to be it for today's show. It's a Friday show. Oh, hold on. I'll go to the chat room here. We'll jump into the chat room. People got some stuff they want to talk about. Let's see. Adam, let's see here. I'm thinking of doing a Seahawks. All right, all right, there you go. I don't understand how you guys in Texas gamble. I don't understand that because it's illegal in Texas. I don't understand how this works. There are no fucking rules. I don't understand it. How come my gambling app didn't work? How come the gambling app that I use here in Chicago didn't work when I tried to use it in Dallas? But now I got people talking about how they gamble. The fuck are you gambling on? I don't know. Anyway, good for you. I hope you win. Hope you win and then tip the show because God damn it, And 2 years since they fired Belichick. 7 years. It's been 7 years. What did I say? 5, 6? Okay, there's Adam being fucking correcting McCorrecterson. Everybody loves correcting McCorrecterson. All right. Well, I just realized that it's been Adam who posted the last 15 times because so we don't need to go through the whole conversation. Adam knows a lot about sports, but we're not really I don't want to get into a whole sports conversation here. All right. Thank you so much to our executive producers today. We had a tag team of them, and they are both so greatly appreciated. Peter and April, thank you. Pledge Week continues next week because we didn't do Dick this week. If you want to support this kind of talk, opposition talk every day at noon since 2021. That's right. We've been doing it for 5 years. I'm going to need you right now to drop a little something in the Cash App or the Venmo. It certainly would be appreciated. It is how we do the show for the next month. We pay our bills and then we keep going. Ain't nobody getting rich here. But if you want to support the opposition, a kind of talk radio, a kind of community discourse that we don't hear anywhere else, drop a little something. All right, there you go. Maddie down there in Louisiana, Drew Brees was just elected into the Football Hall of Fame. I said that. I said that. All right, again, that's probably just a problem with the delay. I'm just seeing it now. Oh, okay. So that's how Adam is. Adam's buddy. So yeah, that's okay. That makes sense, Adam. Yeah. So Adam's buddy's going to Vegas, so he's going to lay a bet for him. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just do that from your couch? Wouldn't that be nice if during the game, as things change, you can sit there on your little phone and you can go, you know what? I think they're going to make this first down. I'm going to put a buck on it. Wouldn't that be nice if you can do it? But you can't because of Texas freedom. Because you Texans have more freedom than absolutely nobody else. You guys have you can't do anything in Texas. Nothing. And now they're taking away weed vapes. You can't do anything in that state. And yet you're the loudest motherfuckers when it comes to we believe in liberty and freedom. You got 30 years of these fucking Republicans who are cashing checks from the fucking churches, and they're stopping you from being able to participate like the rest of us in this country and all the things that make a modern society go. Yeah, all this because I can't gamble in Plano. This is all this anger because I can't play on my little phone app and try and make my bar tab while I'm sitting at the bar. That's not me. That's not what I do. But that is seriously like I don't understand it. I wonder if it's just that people in Texas don't know what they're being denied. I know women in Texas know what they're being denied because they're being loud about it. But that's the other thing about Texas. Women don't count. I'm getting feisty. Look at me getting feisty at the end of the show. Yeah, here, I've heard this before, right? Apparently, there is a prediction market app that you can use in Texas. Barney? I'm not mocking you. That's not me mocking you, Barney. What the fuck? The fuck is a prediction market? And what kind of loophole gray area are we skirting here? I don't understand. It's a prediction market. Yeah, like Kalshi or what are the other? I don't know what these things are. Well, I should probably learn because these are the ways that people will be putting food on their table in the future. We got no jobs. There's no jobs, no ditches to be dug, no roads to be paved, no packages to be delivered. There are no jobs for people anymore. Coders, you're out of work. Computer experts, you're all out of work. There are no jobs for generations moving forward in this country. So they are slowly getting us all accustomed to playing with these prediction apps and gambling. And that's how we're going to make money. That's it. That's it. All right. And then they're going to be making money hand over fist. Companies are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're going to remind you through all of their controlled media that universal income is communism. Universal income. No, you can't pay. If they're making all the money, giving it back to us is communism. They get to keep that money. Anyway, I'm starting to spin out. All right, guys, I love you. We'll talk to you back here on Monday. As I said, one more time, if you want to tip the show, that would be great. Help us out. And then we'll be back noon on Monday after the Super Bowl. There'll probably be things to talk about. I'm sure we'll talk about Bad Bunny. What we won't be talking about is the Kid Rock show, well, unless he makes news. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I ain't watching that thing, though. By the way, did anybody in the chat room, were you able to tell me where? Where am I supposed to watch the TPUSA halftime show? I have no idea. Newsmax? I mean, who's going to have it? I don't know. Where do I got to go? Fox News? Will Fox News air it? Who's airing the Super Bowl? Because if the Super Bowl is on Fox, then Fox News isn't going to air the alternative because, money and whatnot. Yeah, who's got the Super Bowl? What network airs the Super Bowl this year? Who's going to call the Super Bowl? What network is the Super Bowl on? NBC. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Does this mean we're going to get Collinsworth? Collinsworth and Al Michaels for the Super Bowl? Is that who we're getting? I mean, I guess I shouldn't manufacture any outrage on that. I don't hate either of those guys. I do think that Al Michaels has lost a step, like so many cornerbacks. Al Michaels is no longer the Al Michaels that he once was, but I don't know. I don't have the manufactured hate for Chris Collinsworth the way a lot of people do. What I do think is interesting about Chris Collinsworth, and this is the way that I mock him or critique his style. But again, I'm not put off by it. I don't hate him. Chris Collinsworth says stupid things. Like, he just says dumb things. Like, a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about a guy on a team, and I'm not even sure what team he was talking about, but he was talking about a guy on the team that was the loudest in the locker room, and he always gets people fired up, and Chris Collinsworth goes, hey, in life, the loudest guy is usually the one that's right. I'm like, what? What did Chris Collinsworth just fucking puke up on the air? Because he was just talking. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Because the loudest one is almost never the one that's right. The loudest one is the guy that's heard the most clearly because he's the loudest. But being loud and being heard by more people doesn't mean you're right. But Chris Collinsworth said that. He said there's a whole bunch of them. Can't think of them off the top of my head. But Chris Collinsworth says funny things like that where you go, what the fuck? What? That didn't make any sense. What did he just say? All right, guys, we're going to be out. Be out till Monday. That's it. Try and find a way out of this. X. Can watch it on X. All right, so I can watch it on X. You can watch the TPUSA and also Rumble, which we need to be on Rumble. People are like, you need to be on Rumble. Like, yeah, it seems like everybody who's doing talk or this kind of thing is on Rumble. Anyway. Adam says, I think he's talking about Collinsworth. I don't know. I don't know if he's talking about Collinsworth here or not, but he says, as far as analysis, he's excellent. He makes you smarter by watching. Yeah, I think Collinsworth is good. I'm not one of these guys who's like, I know more about football. No, you don't. No, you don't. These guys are in these positions because they know way more about football than you. Chris Collinsworth has actually, had a really nice career in the NFL. He played in a Super Bowl. Chris Collinsworth was nationally famous as a player. Chris Collinsworth was in national TV commercials as a player because he was kind of handsome and chicks liked him. He did a shampoo commercial. Chris Collinsworth was a big star in the NFL around about 1983, 1984, somewhere in there. And now he's a sports guy. Anyway, he knows what he's talking about. The people who I don't have high regard for are the people who are on sports radio pundits. The people who actually do the play-by-play of the games, those people know more about football than you. You can have a problem with, the guy. No, he knows more about football than you. He's doing play-by-play because he spent his life in this sport. You don't fucking even know what a 3 technique is. These people know what they're doing. It's the sports radio guys. They're the ones that I listen to a lot and go, You don't watch football better than me, okay? There is nothing about your background that makes you more expert at offering these opinions on what the Bears should do or the Cowboys should do than anything that me or Barney or Adam or anybody else who watches the games could probably come to on their own. You're just put on a position where we're supposed to pretend like you're an expert. But that's not the case for the guys who do play-by-play at the national and at the network level. Those people are actually, they know what they're doing. The guy you listen to, in the afternoon on your drive home, he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know. He's got fucking nothing. Unless, he's a player. Unless he's a player or somebody who's been, involved in the league. Other than that, we're all just watching the same thing and we're just sharing opinions. Well, I played football. Yeah, so did I. Yeah, everybody played football in high school. Not everybody, but a lot of people played football in high school. A lot of people played football before that and Pop Warner and all that stuff. We know the game. We watch it every week just like you. I'm having a difficult time getting off the air today. So when that is the case, there's only one thing to do, and that's just get off the air.